smash that like button. Welcome to Black and the Black Times Infinity. I'm your host, Cthulhu's Prodigy, coming to you live and direct from the garage in the Vista. Smoke me out, fam, with all the dankest the dank shit. On my left, the oldest ninja in the world, old ninja.
Y'all trying to play like Kate Bush is some kind of new artist or something. I see you.
On my far right, engineering on the ones and twos, joke believe out on the threes and fours, Chronos.
I have survived the shittiest move, maybe of all time. I'm just saying. It might rival our ancestors coming across. I'm just kidding. It's not that bad. But it was pretty
God
fucking shitty. All right? It's pretty shitty.
And last but not least, we got your boy Blue.
The internet is saying that Johnny Depp could have really used the Amber Alert.
Oh, damn.
Well, we got somebody donating money already. Hold on.
Damn.
Mahi Blur, what's going on, fam? We're not even in the live stream yet. I haven't clicked the button yet, and we already got a super chat.
Making it rain.
Thank you very much, Mahi Blurred, and also Papa Bear already in the chat. Sorry I missed last week, so I'm already getting part of the shit out of the way from the beginning. And listener of the week would be user 131299176. So there you go.
I want you to know, I'm seeing behind the fucking scenes now. Like, I knew Kronos was always doing this every week with the fucking data and shit, but now I got bars and graphs and all this fucking background shit. I'm seeing it live. All right.
Dude, I miss being able to see all that stuff. Be able to see if like
man.
I'm peeking too much or this and that. Like it's been fucking like 2 years.
Yeah, there's bars and graphs and shit. My shit is going into the red. That's all right.
It's typical.
Old Ninja, you usually are pouring out something frothy, malty, urban, brown. What are you doing this weekend for Homestead?
Bruh, how many times I gotta show? It's not always frothy. Like, bruh, this ain't Starbucks.
Is it
And
seedless?
it's not always brown. It's seedless. That's all bad. This ain't nut. That's all bad. Like Mickey's isn't brown either, by the way.
It's
Just
golden.
saying. Neither, yeah. Colt 45 is also golden.
Great for showers, I'm just saying. Golden for showers.
Oh, God
You
dang.
just gotta shake it up a little bit. You know.
Oh, man. All right, so we're going to pour out some
Truffle butter.
Truffle butter?
Big head on it too. Anyway, go ahead, Old Ninja.
Going to pour out some St. Ides this week. Starting with Andy Fletcher, also known as Fletch. He was an English keyboard player, DJ, and founding member of the band Depeche Mode.
Oh shit.
Fletcher's been with the band since their inception, despite having a few members of the band leaving and going from a quartet to a trio. He's the only member of the band that does not have a songwriting credit. Since Depeche Mode didn't always have a full-time manager, Fletcher handled many of the band's business, legal, and other non-musical interests over the years. Whenever he was on hiatus from Depeche Mode, he played occasional festivals and club gigs and would mix exclusive remixes at these venues. He died of natural causes at the age of 60.
Damn, that don't sound very natural. I mean, that's pretty young. I mean,
60? I mean,
but hey. Usually when someone says natural causes, they're like 80 plus, but it is what it is.
Depends on how hard your
next
life
up-
was, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
yeah.
You do enough coke. I'm not, I'm not saying
or
you did
other
coke, but,
barbiturates.
I'm just saying. Definitely
Yeah.
a life shortener.
Next up, we have Ray Liotta,
Oh shit.
the guy who was almost always a wise guy or mafia guy, but whether good or bad, he always delivered. His first real acting gig was on NBC soap opera Another World. Later on, he appeared in Something Wild in 1987 from the director of Silence of the Lambs, which scored him a Golden Globe nomination. And then he played banned Chicago White Sox superstar Shoeless Joe Jackson with Kevin Costner and James Earl Jones in 1989's Field of Dreams. He then quickly followed up by playing gangster Henry Hill in Martin Scorsese's Goodfellas with Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci in what was his defining role of his career. Gamers love and remember him for his portrayal as Tommy Vercetti in the Grand Theft Auto Vice City. He's had a ton of roles in TV as well as film since Goodfellas, such as Unlawful Entry, Copland, Hannibal, Blow, opposite Johnny Depp, Identity, John Q, Killing Him Softly, Marriage Story, and most recently the Sopranos prequel, The Many Saints of Newark. He was in TV show Shades of Blue with Jennifer Lopez, and he also appeared on ER. Reports have said that Liotta died in his sleep in the Dominican Republic while he was filming the movie Dangerous Waters. He was 67 years old.
That's still pretty young too.
Just shy of 70.
Yeah, I will say this. Like internet meme culture knows him. Like he's the guy. If you haven't seen Goodfellas, but where they take the scene from Goodfellas and make it a GIF, where he's like laughing hard as fuck. I think with Joe Pesci as well, like in his gangster suits or whatever. But you see that meme all the fucking time, or GIF all the time.
Yeah, he's in a bunch of stuff. He had like a bunch of projects going on. He had like a project with A&E where they were doing the life of a bunch of mobster families, like from then and now. It was in the works at A&E. I don't know the status of it now, but he had multiple projects in the work. He had at least a bunch of like producing credits and series that he was working on before he passed. So he was working. He was working up until his death. He literally died while like working on a film.
Do you remember how coked out he fucking looked when he was chopping those fucking garlic with the razor blade and shit, trying to make that sauce, and doing coke in Goodfellas, like trying to escape the law and thinking that his house was bugged? You remember how bugged out he fucking looked during that scene, or no? You don't remember that shit?
Vaguely.
Oh,
Vaguely. It's funny to me because like when I said he was like good or bad, like have you ever seen the movie Heartbreakers?
I've never heard
With
of that bullshit.
it's him, Jennifer Love Hewitt, and Sigourney Weaver, and they're like con women, and he's a gangster. He's like a mobster in that movie, but he's like obsessed with Sigourney Weaver's character. He's like ridiculously in love with her, and she's like playing him like a puppy, but like while she's working other cons, he just shows up.
He was like, "Yo, I got some aliens. I need some help. Can you help me out, or what's going on? You got a flamethrower, fucking giant mech suit. What's going on?"
This shit was hella crazy. The movie's pretty funny, but it's just funny he plays another.
Was hot in that one movie with Tim Allen where it's like a parody of Star Trek.
Oh, that's
Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy
goddammit.
Quest.
Galaxy Quest. Yeah. I was like, wait, hold up, that's her? Damn.
Yeah, she
sure.
was looking bad. All right.
She's like in her 70s now.
I guess so, huh? Is she gonna be in that
Yeah,
that Avatar sequel?
Yeah, she is.
Yes, she is. Yeah, she's in the trailer.
Good shit.
She is in the trailer.
What was her character's name?
I have no.
Nah, see, this is my thing about the Avatar movie. Just
Her
saying.
name's Grace. Her character's name's Grace.
So, okay,
name
you
is
might know,
Doctor.
but most people don't fucking know. This is one of the movies that if somebody told me that that Avatar never existed, I'd probably believe them because I remember seeing the movie, but I can't name a single goddamn character. Like, seriously, most people can't. I'm like, yo, name the main character of the movie.
No, I do know that one. That's Jake Sully.
Oh, are you sure? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, because you're Jake Sully.
I do know that one.
Like most characters, most people can't remember, including me. And I saw that shit when I was in Qatar.
There's a lot of blue people.
Yeah, a lot of blue people.
Blue Monkey Love.
Only thing I can remember is Unatadium.
That shit was
Oh, yeah.
hilarious.
Generic
Like, I had to
fucking
rewind
name
that
for a
shit
metal.
when I watched it at home. I was like, wait a minute, did they really call it that bullshit? Like, fuck. Anyway, sorry.
No, I think the best part is Giovanni Ribisi saying, "This is the cheddar we're going for." I'm all, wait, what? No one's. Wait, what? What?
Forgot about that shit.
Could you imagine saying cheddar like at least 100 years in the future? How ridiculous that would sound.
Yeah.
They're like, we don't even fucking have cheese anymore or cows, bitch. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Everything's all fake, processed.
All right.
It's all bad.
Who else you got on
Dude,
Vince?
That's all I got.
When we first jumped on a podcast, I talked about how there was a little robot that ran across my screen and like jumped up in one of these little boxes. It looks like for Google Meetings, there's this new thing where you can actually play a game called, or it says robot game, and basically you can play a game while you're waiting to join a chat room, which I was like, oh shit, that's kind of cool. But yeah, the robot freaked me out. I was like, what the fuck is that? It just ran across my screen out of nowhere.
We thought Blue was high as fuck.
I thought I was high as fuck.
He might fucking still be, goddammit. Holy shit, we didn't cast last week. Kronos, you want to talk a little bit about why?
Yeah. Sorry, first of all. That was my fault. So I had a really bad move last week. So I was trying to get out of my house on like last Monday, I think it was. And so what happened is I'm going to try to like keep it as condensed as possible. It's kind of long, but I'll try to condense it. So basically I ordered 2 pods to go to my house to get dropped off so we can move. They're going to, we're going to put all our shit in the pods and then just ship it down to San Diego. And then once you bought a house in San Diego or in Chula Vista, they would then we get all our stuff out of the pods. So I wanted to order one large and one medium pod, but apparently you can't do a medium pod to ship long distance, more than 50 miles, for whatever reason. I guess because they can't fit enough on a fucking truck. I get that for logistical reasons. So I ended up ordering like a large and a small pod, thinking that all our shit would fit in there. So the small pod gets dropped off, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, because it said that for pods you need, if you want 2 pods, you need a 2-car driveway. I definitely have one because I extended my driveway to be 2 cars. And 2 cars fit in there, 2 SUVs, just fine. And the small one got dropped off, and I'm looking at the driveway. I'm like, yo, can the large one fit here? And then the guy just looked at me, and he goes, no. I'm just like, the fuck, man? Like, for real? He's like, well, you can talk to the next guy who has, like, the large pod, because he's, like, a better driver than me, and maybe he can fit it. And so the guy with the large pod looked at it, and he was like, no, we can't fit that. And then he started giving me options on, like, what to do for the pods. And he said, basically, what we ended up going with was, because we needed to move by like a certain time, and he said basically you can hire some movers to move stuff into a truck and then take the truck to the pod location, which is like in the same city. It was in Hayward, so we ended up doing that for the next day at 2:00. So all right, 2:00 comes around. Actually, before 2:00 comes around, the movers get there to our house. They start getting all our stuff ready, and the guy goes, what time does the pod place close? And I'm like, that's a good question, man. And so we look, and it closes at 3. I'm like, okay, there's no way they can move that much shit in an hour and get it to like that location. So we're like, fuck, another L. So next day comes, I think that's now Wednesday, and we luckily the movers that tried to move us, the first time, they waived all the fees, because normally, because I went through like a service, and usually like if you cancel like last minute, you have to pay like a bunch of money. And they said, well, just a misunderstanding. And so they canceled all the fees, so we got off scot-free. And the movers helped us find another mover, because they had some friends that have a company, and they came the next morning at 8 a.m. Cool. They get there at 8 a.m., start moving our stuff, and put all our stuff in the truck, and then move it down to the pod location. We get there, and we have a large pod sitting there waiting, and they move all the stuff in the pod, and it's too much stuff. So I'm like, fuck. I'm like, all right. So I talked to like the supervisor there. I'm like, yeah, we need another pod. And he's like, well, you have to call the pod place on the phone to do this. I'm like, but you're right there. And he's like, well, we need it on the schedule. But I'm like, you can put it on the schedule right now. And he's just like,
is there a computer in front of him?
Yeah, no, he was like in a forklift and doing whatever. He's like, but it's got to be on the schedule. I'm like, okay, fine. So I called them up. I was like, yo, I need another pod. I just make it a large pod because I don't think a small one's going to fit. So they ordered another large pod, and then all of a sudden, they're like, well, we got to put it for the next day because, we can't put it for today because it's already too late. I'm like, just talk to the guy and see if he'll do it. So of course he would. He did it. He moved a large pod, and like literally, I paid the guys in cash, like the movers. I was like, yo, if you tell me right now, all this shit's gonna, like the rest of the stuff's gonna fit in the large pod, good to go. I'm gonna leave. He's like, yeah, it'll fit. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pay you now. He's like, is that cool? He's like, yeah. So I paid him. I gave him like a $300 and some tip, and we just fucking bounced. But at the time, when we left, it was like probably like 3:00. So we ended up getting to, Chula Vista at like midnight on Wednesday. So that's why we couldn't podcast on Wednesday, because I was literally on the road, driving a long ass time, and it was pretty shitty. But we're here now. That's why that's why you hear an echo, because we're in the garage. And you look like.
Well, first of all,
go ahead.
That's the most cleanest, emptiest garage I've ever seen in my whole entire fucking life. I've never seen a garage empty before. There's usually like a bunch of junk in there, an old car that doesn't run. Like, y'all guys are in the fucking like dance studio with workout
we're in a
equipment.
Peloton studio, man. We've got the Peloton Plus bike and the treadmill that you can't buy anymore. So yeah, he's got the Peloton, like the original tread, which is now the Tread Plus, that nobody can buy, but I want it because it's fucking dope. It's like super big and nice. So I've been working on his Peloton for the past couple of days. So yeah,
good shit. So
Can you just log in like if it's a PS4 or PS5?
Wait, what?
Can you log into his Peloton under your account like it's a PS5?
Yeah, I can. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. So I hop on his bike. His bike is way easier to use than mine for some reason, like because it's calibrated. So like I have way higher output on his bike than on my bike. So I might just trade in my bike when I get it back and get a Plus. And don't tell K-Mac. But I'll tell K-Mac, I'm just kidding.
So use some of that equity from your house.
Hell yeah.
Oh wait, Chris, you got to tell them that. You got to tell them the little side story.
What
yeah.
story?
Special guest.
you ran into a fan or a fan came to your house.
I did. The most random shit ever happened when we were moving. Okay, so Kamek was trying to get rid of some furniture, and
Coffee tables.
yeah, it was actually it was like a study, right? It was a study in a was it the coffee table? No, I think it was a study. Yeah, it was a study.
There was a couple items because
Yeah.
there's a couple people there because I was there. So there was one coffee table and some other stuff I didn't really get a good look at.
Yeah, no, but they took the study in the chair. And
Okay.
what ended up happening is like, because I was basically like doing shit when they got there, and then the woman like looked at me and she goes, "I know you from somewhere," and I was like, "You know what? You look familiar to me too." And so this is actually a listener of the podcast, or at least she was. I don't know if she still is, but we actually met each other like a long time, like years ago, at like the Hayward Costco. And at the time, like it was funny because like her dad had walked up to me. He's like, "Do you have a podcast?" Because I saw her like looking at me, and I was like, "What the fuck's what?" Like when somebody looks at you and then like looks away, and it's like it's kind of weird. Because you're just like they do they recognize me? Like, do I know them? And so yeah, she listened at the time. She listened to the podcast, and like she had asked her dad to like ask me if I had a podcast. I was like, yeah, and so she knows from there. There's the same woman that picked up that was going to buy the study, and so Kim actually ended up just giving it to her for free, and so they picked it up, and it's cool because now she's got a kid that's like 3. I think I met her before she even had a kid, so
Oh damn.
it was a while.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
So a light stalker then, like just a little bit.
Yeah, it's just like total coincidence. It was like it's totally funny. I was like, holy shit, like we've seen each other twice now. But yeah, I'm moving now. But yeah, that was pretty cool to have somebody recognize me on my moving day. And she asked me like, does it happen a lot? And I was like, at cons, more frequently, but not like in public. So
That just means, Blue, you need to be on your best behavior because old girl from Phantom A is still hunting your ass. You gonna see her in
that's
the
why I don't go to
streets
San
one
Jose.
day.
That's why I don't go to San Jose anymore.
Yeah.
She can be at the border just waiting. Like,
well, somebody
bad.
like a friend of mine asked us if we were going to do like a Phantom A panel again, and I was like, nah, because we would love to, but yeah, I was moving and yeah.
I'll say this, man. Phantom A is still one of my fucking favorites. I would literally come back up there just to do a fucking panel up there. And I think, Old Ninja, didn't you stop by Phantom A or something, or no?
Oh no, a friend of mine, he works at one of the bars or the restaurants and the hotels that are near there, and he drove by and he showed me this video of just like the street in front of the convention center was just full of people, like all the way from the street to the convention center. And that, like, if you've ever been to almost any convention center, it's like a good, like, I don't know, 30 yards maybe.
Yeah.
And just people to people, like literally shoulder to shoulder for like all the way down the block. And I was like, he's like, I'm going to work and this is what I see. I'm like, holy shit, there's like just a sea of people.
And that's just the
waiting to
line for the
just get in.
hentai late night stuff. That's just that line. You know what I mean?
No, it was in the middle of the
God.
day. That was literally
Uh-huh.
just. So there's a separate line on the other side where you can finagle your way in, but there's a line there too, usually. But what it
Dude.
looked like, it was huge. It looked packed. It looked beyond packed.
I had crazy FOMO for Phantom A this weekend. I mean, even if like if it wasn't for COVID and stuff like that, I probably wouldn't be able to make it this weekend either way. But like just because there's a unofficial Facebook group that I'm part of, and like just seeing like all the cosplayers and the pictures and people posting stuff, it's like fuck, man, I hella missed out.
Dude,
Phantom A's always so much goddamn fun.
I love the late night stuff, man. I love even the like family time, even during the day, like that's kind of PG or whatever, and all the panels. It's just fun. Definitely miss it. We'll try to go back. I mean, now that it looks like COVID numbers are semi-subsiding, and there's new cons and whatnot popping back up, or the same old cons popping back up, we'll make it happen one way or another.
Dude, what's crazy is that I think I mentioned this before, but like with anime conventions, like the list of characters is goddamn endless, and like like when I'm taking pictures of people, I have to ask them who they are if I don't know who they are. If their cosplay looks dope, I'm gonna take a picture of them, but I'm gonna ask them like, okay, what's your anime character and this and that. But I remember one time the girl had her own original character. I was like, holy shit, that's fucking different. Like that's dope. Like it's really cool to see people put like that creativity into their costumes, and they just don't go with what people say. Like they just created their own thing. So that's what's so great about the Phantom A community, that we have creative people like that out there.
Fuck yeah. And then the other one, the big one I want to hit up is Anime Expo at some point. But
Yeah, well, I think
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
I
both
love
me
Anime
and
Expo.
you, we got to figure it out.
yeah.
But we're going to be at San Diego Comic Con, so we won't have a panel there probably. I don't think because we haven't submitted anything, but that'll obviously be a sort of ongoing thing for the podcast now because we're both here, and it's super fucking easy. And we're still going to try to like swap people out, but it's easier now because y'all have a place to stay and go, and it's like won't be a hassle anymore for any of us to do it.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. And I'm waiting for WonderCon too. That was always fun.
Oh, man, that was one of my
Oh yeah,
fucking favorite.
WonderCon is one. Oh, and we can't forget there's what used to be Silicon Valley Comic Con is now Silicon, which is
hate that
this
name.
year. I think it's in
Wait, it's called
August.
Silicon?
Yeah.
Yeah, silly
Yeah.
with C
Oh, I
stylized and
gotcha. I
because is
gotcha.
con. Adam Savage he changed the name, so now it's now Silicon.
Should have kept it the
Um,
same.
Yeah, should have kept it the same, but whatever. I mean, they have some pretty good talent showing up, like Jason Momoa has been. He was there just before COVID hit. Um, they had Stan Lee there before he passed. Christina Ricci's been there, so they keep getting all kinds of talent, and we'll be here. Or I don't know about Blue, unless Blue takes the SoCal route, but Stitch is up there too.
You're trying to convince everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's gonna be in the beast.
Yeah.
Man, we got 2 weeks worth of shit, man. Where do y'all want to start?
Oh,
Serious
yeah.
stuff, fun stuff. What we doing first? What y'all want to jump into?
So, should we wait for Stitch? I don't want to do the serious stuff and then have Stitch.
Yeah, we can start with some fun. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Well, we started off with
Uh,
talking about Avatar. I guess want to continue that conversation since the trailer dropped recently.
I thought
We
already-
can. Sure.
Okay,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
I thought we talked about that, but go ahead.
Fuck, I don't remember. It's been 2 weeks ago.
It has
I don't
been
even remember what I wore 2 weeks ago.
It's this, some shit about water, right?
Yeah.
The taste
Sorry,
of water,
talk about
the feeling
Bender.
of water, the water of water.
Yeah. Oh god dang.
I honestly can't remember what the trailer was though. Let's go back and
So-
watch.
See, it's the way
So-
of water. See, I was being ridiculous, but I could have said the way of water. You could have laughed too. I'm just saying.
I would have laughed because it's still kind of funny, but like Blue said, I mean, there's a trailer and we see Grace as a
Navi?
What's
Ninja
the,
Turtle.
yeah, Navi, sure. Blue monkey. So she's a blue monkey now. We see feral humans. So there's like humans that look all like kind of feral and they got bows and arrows and stuff. Just kind of weird. We see Jake Sully, him and Neytiri. They have kids, and they're in
Wait.
water.
How
Yeah,
the fuck
Yeah,
does
they-
that work?
they had kids.
Well,
he
you
busted
you stick
inside.
your penis in the vagina.
Yeah.
I mean,
and-
is
Well, no,
there
no, that's
hair
not how-
penis, though? They
And
have
you
hair
got
cells.
Yeah, it doesn't-
No,
you got to
that's
first.
his-
You got to link your tail. You link
That's
your
what I was
tail,
gonna
Yeah.
and then you go bust inside.
But remember,
You
he
go
was an
straight-
avatar too, wasn't he? Like,
Yeah,
that's
he
true, I'm
transferred
pretty
his
sure.
whole thing into his avatar. That was
Yeah, but-
it can't be the hair thing. That'd be weird as fuck. Because then every time they ride an animal, they're fucking the animal.
I mean,
no. I
Yeah.
think you connect
Get
the tail
fuck-
first, and
No,
then you
no,
go
this
inside.
Is okay. This is terribly wrong. If it's the hair thing, then they're literally fucking those animals into submission and flying on them and riding them.
I mean, remember
Hey man, that's how it works.
I'm just yeah. You could be true, but that's also
Eyes
really
were like,
gross.
whoop. When they did that hair connection, remember?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
look
mean,
it
I
up.
think the tail thing is just a deeper connection. You get a harder bust.
God
So
damn.
just
You
saying.
know what? I think hair must be involved.
Yeah,
either
it's gotta be.
pre-sex or during.
It's
Something's
the
gotta
is
be
it?
going on.
Oh, it is the hair. I keep thinking it's the tail, but yes, it's the hair. And they do you got to connect.
But wait,
You got to connect first.
wasn't Jake Sully's avatar the blue monkey that he was in? Was that a synthetic monkey or was that a fucking?
It was
It's
It was,
synthetic.
it
I
was like
believe.
a
It was like
clone.
a clone. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
like a clone.
they used his DNA. They actually used his twin brother's DNA, and that's the reason why they had him join because his brother had died, and so they
that's
used him to
right.
replace him
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they didn't want to waste $20 million or some shit like that. But yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, it has his DNA in it, so I mean, he left his DNA inside of.
Yeah,
Blue
inside the
girl,
material,
deep
so he
inside.
busted his DNA. Yeah, so they got kids, and apparently this is supposed to take place on one of the moons of Avatar or Pandora. The name of the planet is Pandora. So apparently it's supposed to be one of the moons of Pandora. You see all kinds of crazy creatures. It's hard to tell who the main enemy is, It looks like they're still building. Humans are still building industrial stuff there. So we'll see. It comes out this December. So
And didn't what's his name? James Cameron, like I thought he filmed 2 and 3 at the same time or some bullshit.
each film 2 and 3 at the same time. They're supposed to start 4 and 5 or something pretty soon.
Damn.
There's going to be a bunch of Avatar sequels. This is just the first of many.
We'll
So.
see. We'll fucking see, man.
So wait, this is kind of fucking weird. So like, apparently when they're mating, they're supposed to mate in front of like the sacred tree, and like since everything's connected to this tree, does that mean somebody can like tap into the tree and kind of watch them having sex?
I would imagine.
I mean,
so.
it's an interconnected fucking planet. Like all the fauna and all the fucking plants are connected to that hair sex.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so you might be on
Somebody was watching. Somebody was watching. I can tell you that.
Bust deep
Someone was
inside.
monitoring, make sure everything went smoothly.
There you go. All right.
There's a wiki about it on there's not a wiki, a fandom that goes into their whole mating ritual and this and that, and they do have sex like humans.
Oh, they do. Okay.
here.
They primate fuck.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Fucking monkeys.
Okay.
All right.
Wait, they
How
actually do,
brutal.
they do same sex pairing too? What the hell?
I mean, gay. You know, it's
You
Pride
think we're
Month. You know,
advanced?
there's
mean,
gay
that hair-
aliens. They like
hair-
to
I
anally
mean-
probe. I'm sorry, I went there.
Sex is, yeah, hair sex is important, I guess.
All right.
Moving on. Love, Death, and Robots, because most of us did
Oh,
this in a
shit.
day. Did everybody watch this? Everybody
I
finish
have.
it?
did. Did you watch it?
I only watched a couple of the ones that weren't. So I was watching it with K-Max, we can both enjoy, and she can't do like the extreme violence. So we can only watch, I think, like 2, maybe 3 of them, where it wasn't like crazy violent. I think the most violent one we watched was like the macro version of the zombie apocalypse, and that shit was hilarious.
Oh, that was fun.
That shit was wild. Holy shit.
Most of them get
but I
real
was-
bloody this season.
Oh yeah. Oh damn. Especially the one with the fucking the Cthulhu monster
There
in
was
the
that
fucking
one.
cave.
I
Oh,
was
the-
thinking of
the-
the honey badger one and the one with the soldiers in the fucking
Yeah, Modern
Cave.
Warfare meets Destiny.
yeah.
That was definitely that one. That one was gory as fuck.
And not to spoil shit, but the one that fucked me up was the very fucking last one, where
What,
like
really?
they took because it was like stop motion
Oh, yeah.
CGI. I'm gonna try to describe this well. You know I think Thai princess spirit like the ones that are in all gold with the long fingernails doing very interesting dances.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I thought
Like
that was
culture.
Indian. I
With a
thought that
lot
was
of-
Indian culture. Because like
No, I
usually
think Thailand.
I think
I
Thailand.
feel like it was super Indian, but
Yeah,
either
it's-
one.
It felt Thailand
I got,
to me.
I got Thailand vibe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but in any event, you see that mixed with some medieval knight shit and like some very
Like-
fucking violent water spirit demon killing. Go ahead, Blue.
They were like conquistadors. I think that's what I'm
Yeah,
That's what it looked
conquistadors,
like. Yeah.
Yeah, they were like this one dude who's like deaf or whatever. Like it's just it's what's the name? What other? She's like a siren. That's what it is. Like she's just
Yeah.
a siren. She fucking lead man to their goddamn death. But when I was watching this, the first thing that popped in my mind was like, is that Doja Cat? Like I could see Doja Cat at that character, like the way she was dancing and stuff like that. But like this shit was fucking violent. Like it was not for the weak at heart, but like shit, what else was I gonna say? The scenes with her like making out with the guy, like I thought like, oh, this is gonna go good. He's gonna like take her home and wife her. That was not the fucking case. That was not the case. But I felt bad for her too. I was like, damn, dude, like fucking man, just about all about that money.
He was about that gold.
Mhm.
But that
The
shit
one-
was wild. Go ahead.
The one that fucked me up was the fucking the mini zombie apocalypse shit, because that shit literally in the first 30 seconds they're doing hardcore fucking sex, like hardcore porn with these little fucking like less than a fucking inch, they're like half an inch size people, and like dude starts like he literally is fucking a statue like of an angel at like an old like church. And then he gets his karma as it falls on him and fucking kills him.
But
Or it
it's-
doesn't kill him.
But it
It
was
doesn't
that,
kill him, it falls on him.
It was that
And then
Gumby
also with
style stop motion though.
yeah, it's like it felt
Claymation,
claymation-ish, yeah, but it's crazy because when he knocks the statue over into the church, the symbol
The cross
symbol of the
is upside
cross
down.
drops down upside down, which is supposed to mean like a demon or alien or in usually in Christianity and science and lore and whatnot. And then it gets hit by lightning, and then that's when all hell breaks loose. And I was like, "What the hell?"
You saw that green
It
hell
was so
flame.
wild.
Like the
It
macro
was
one,
so wild.
yeah, that's it. It just kept getting funnier and funnier, like watching everybody get fucked up from like far away. It
Yeah.
was like this shit is hilarious.
It was fucking wild.
Dude, the one with the three robots, like
I love that
first,
one.
no one first came on, and it confused me. I was like, wait, did I already see this? Because I was like, because
Mhm.
usually they don't repeat their characters, but I guess they do with these three robots. I think it's like actually the third one that they've been in.
Yeah,
But like
yeah.
It is.
the way to describe how humanity is gone, it's like, fuck, man, we're really on that goddamn banana peel right now. But then like how like some of the rich try to escape and just shit didn't work out for them either. Oh, yeah, actually, no, they made it to another planet.
No,
made
Oh,
it
no,
to
no.
no,
Mars.
they didn't. The cats did.
No, they did. No, they did. The cat
Yeah.
did. That's what it was.
Yeah, they all fucked up.
You
And them
think it was
robots were
gonna-
clowning.
They were
clowning each and
clowning.
every one. They were like, "Oh, you had your little bunker, but you didn't fucking make it." You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was like, why would
You-
they do this just to lock themselves in? And like, look, this didn't do shit for them. They're like stepping on skulls and kicking them around and
It
shit.
was hilarious.
I'm like, what the fuck? That shit was
Like I
hella
like how
fun.
when they were looking at the names out of the hat. They're like, oh yeah, this was a game they would play to figure out which one they were going to eat.
That shit,
And the one
was
guy who kept
wild.
finding hats was fucking funny.
that shit went hard as fuck, man. I really
Yeah.
like season 3 quite a bit.
But what's crazy with Love, Death, and Robot is like the episode. This is like an animated Black Mirror, is what
Yep.
what this is. But
Mhm.
like it's interesting how they do it and how like it's just short. Like they're like 10, 15 minutes. I think the longest one is like 22 minutes. But like it's just well done and like they put in the budget. Like the quality of a episode is really great. So I can't wait. And I hate that it's so. I hate that it's short because I think it was only like what 6 episodes.
I
This
think
season?
9.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a few because they're not that
There's
long.
one more.
So,
But I think the last
Yeah.
one dropped like 2 years ago.
Something like
What's
that.
the last one?
So I
yeah.
watched like season 2 and season 3 like back to back because for whatever reason I missed 2, so it was fucking awesome. I was just
You missed
binging
2?
that
Yeah,
shit.
it was weird because Cronus and I was talking about 2. 2 did not have that punch that season 1 did. Season
Mhm.
1 had that hook. They had like all kinds of crazy shit. They did more existential stuff, especially like the like Black Widow, the space spider chick, and the what I called it Titanfall, the farm edition, shit like that. Like
Mhm.
all that shit was cool. Season 2 was like because they had like the whale one and the two brothers on like Pluto or whatever. That was
Oh, I
okay.
forgot about that one.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it was all right. But
You know which one was really good? And I don't know if this was season 2 or season 3 because it was all a blur. But the Michael B. Jordan one.
Yeah.
oh,
yeah,
that's
that was
season 2.
good.
Yeah.
Season 2.
I was
Yeah,
like,
we didn't
wow.
really talk about that one. That was pretty good because like he was trying to escape and that creature's coming for him and he ended up breaking his legs and stuff and still managed to get out of it.
That shit
I was like,
cool.
oh shit, that was a pretty good one. Yeah, that was season 2, but season 3, like almost every episode had me like invested. Even the Swarm one with the two scientists in space and stuff, that was pretty intense.
Dude, the fucking rats. And the
Oh,
old man.
shit.
That shit went hard as fuck too.
Oh,
Yeah.
that shit did go hard. It
Yeah.
felt like, you know what it felt like? It felt like watching like Up,
Yeah.
but like more sinister.
Yep. That shit was
I was
foul.
like, dude, this is wild.
Good shit.
So
Oh wow, this is every episode is produced by different studios.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, you can
'cause,
tell.
yeah.
I mean, they're all over the place with
Yeah.
that art.
But Joe Macal, I think it's is that really his name?
Who?
Yeah, Joe Macanalio.
oh, Joe
Jude
Mali-
McHale?
no, Deathstroke in the DCEU.
Deathstroke. Yeah.
Oh,
he was
DiMaggio
the
or
he was in
Yeah.
in that last episode with Homegirl was Golden.
Oh, so is
Siren.
the other guy from shit. He
Wait, isn't he even
plays
talking in that
John. No, the guy who he plays John McClane's son in the last two or in the last Die Hard film.
The
I
Apple
can't think of
guy?
his name right now. Apple guy.
One
No,
for the Apple
not
computers
him.
back in the day? And he was in
No,
the Die
no,
Hard,
no,
you remember
no.
that? With the black hair, the kind of
Oh
skinny
yeah,
nerd dude?
the
No,
Mac
he's a
and
younger
PC?
guy.
the Mac and
Oh, I
PC
know
guy.
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no, different guy.
Wait,
Oh, if
Royal
you ever seen the
Lucky Dawson was in the Rat one too.
no, what was it? The Terminator Genesis.
Hmm.
He played Kyle Reese in that
Oh
one
wait,
with
no.
the one with Emilia Clarke. He's in that.
Okay, my bad. So
Jack Courtney, that's his name. So him and Joe are in that one with the Asian chick.
What you got, Blue?
no, they're in the one with in the boat, the one with the fucking the monster and the goddamn spider. That's the one they're
Oh,
in.
yeah, that shit was
But your
foul.
girl Rosie Dawson was in the one with the swarm. The one with
Rosario?
Oh
the
yeah, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
yeah.
you could tell her voice.
I didn't realize they had like I mean other than Michael B. Jordan, I didn't realize they had like other like A B
Yeah, there's a
celebrities
few
in this role.
celebrities in like a bunch of the shows. It's kind of cool because a lot of them go like kind of under the radar unless you look it up. But yeah, there's a few celebrities on there.
That's good though. I like that they got involved. I mean, David Fincher's like one of the producers, and he's been out there with a bunch of stuff. So David Fincher's like, hey, I want you to do this, or can you do this for me? They're probably gonna jump at it, but yeah, David Fincher, hell yeah.
Let's switch it on up, though. I
Uh,
know Old Ninja's
Like a honey
seen all of them things, them Indiana tween 80s boys and girls things. Blue might have finished. I know Cronus is still watching, but deep in
I
it.
finished.
How far are
I
you?
think I'm on episode 4 now. We watched episode 3 last night.
Okay. So you got to Kate Bush? Were you here running up that hill?
No.
Okay, running up the hill doesn't have meaning yet. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So at the end of episode 3, it's when they realize that everybody's connected through trauma with the I figured that out like early on, but I was just like, all right, and you're next, bitch. All right, I figured that out. I was like, yo, you got them things in your background, so and she heard them voices. I was like, yeah, all right.
Grandfather clock, god damn it. Not a good fucking sign. So we won't go spoilery at all. We're gonna keep it super light all the way up until episode 3. This is the warning for part 1 of season 4, Stranger Things. I'll start with Old Ninja. What'd you think so far? Again, don't go deep into Kate Bush or beyond territory.
um, you keep saying Kate Bush. Literally, the first episode when they're at the school, Kate Bush is playing in the background.
But you
no
know
one
what I'm
gave a
talking
shit.
about. Don't fucking
Yeah,
get weird
but-
on me.
No one gave a shit until like the 4th episode.
That's the one.
So,
Dude, well the
but
same
still,
like Miss what was it Missy Elliott did become fucking like big again until like they used her music for something. I think it was like the Super Bowl or some shit. Her numbers fucking blew up on iTunes or some shit. So I can see why
that's what
Kate
happened.
Buship, whatever her fuck name is blown up right now.
Dude, she got the
And the
number
sa-
one
and-
song on all of like Apple Music and shit based on the Stranger Things episode. That's why I keep saying Kate
iTunes-
Bush running up that hill.
And I think Amazon too. She like
Yeah.
skyrocketed.
That shit blew the fuck up.
It's funny because the song's being remade. It was remade a couple of years ago, and it's been playing like on the radio by a different artist. But everyone's been going after the original Kate Bush version. But the kids, it's funny because we start
Fucking
off with
adults.
like we start off with them in 2 separate places. Like one part of them are in California, the other ones are back in Indiana, and
What
they're
fucked
trying to.
up ass town is that they're in though? It's some rant. It's not like
They're in
LA or San
Lenora.
Francisco. Where are they?
They're in Lenora.
Oh, Lenora. That's right.
Yeah, they're in Lenora, which is like some out of. I mean, I know I've been there at least once, but I can't remember where it is on a map. But yeah, they're in this like little town, and like it's supposed to be out of the way and stuff. And Elle's trying to, you know,
Poor Elle.
adjust to high school life. You know, and even though she doesn't have her boyfriend with her, that's all she's thinking about is spring break. You get that week off. She's gonna see the boyfriend. She's writing him letters. She's doing her little project to honor Hopper. We got Joyce, who's just being Joyce, trying to do telemarketing. We have the what's the hell's the crazy dude's name? The crazy conspiracist guy.
The Russian,
the,
not
the Russian
guy.
Jewish guy.
Yeah.
Levi
Eddie?
or
No.
something.
I can't remember. Is it? But that guy's like checking in, but he's still being weird and stuff, taking weird baths with like, what the hell, like soda or some shit. I don't know what the fuck. The kids back in Hawkins are trying to, still keep it nerdy, but like some of them are splintered off. Like we got Skeptical Negro, aka Lucas, in on the basketball team. And it's like he wants to get popular. He doesn't want to get bullied
Hold
anymore.
on, real
He
real
wants
quick
to
though, just before you continue your story, can I just say, Skeptical Negro, puberty did you a huge favor, bro. I'm just saying, god damn, he went from like a little kid to like a handsome young man. Like it seemed like overnight, obviously, because there's like years between. But I was like, puberty did that guy the most favors by far.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's grown up.
I still question his haircut. I feel like his haircut's a
Do
little
not
pre-kid and
question
play.
the fucking flat top. How dare you, old ninja? This
But
is
he
era
had- it's-
correct. Nah, bro.
I don't know. It's a little high. Yeah,
Ah,
it's
man,
86.
I'm
It feels like it's a little high.
That's the way it's
It
supposed
feels
to
a
be.
little.
You should be
It
listening
feels
to,
a
you
little
know,
1990s.
New Edition, you know,
What year?
the flat top. It's
What
good.
year,
Kid and
what year was
Play.
that first Kid and Play? Not movie, but
House
like
Party?
not the movie, but like
their
they
album?
had an
Their
album before the movie.
Yeah, they had an album before House Party, and that was like 90 or like early, maybe
Look that
89.
up. Fact check over
Their
there.
This is
first
like-
You be
album
making up
was
shit
in
sometimes.
1984.
See, and this is 86.
It is 86. I don't know.
Actually,
It feels a little...
1988 was their first album. They've been around before that, but like, yeah, the first album,
Oh,
Too
look
Hype,
up,
dropped
new,
it.
New Edition too. Didn't they have flat tops and shit? Flat tops been
Oh, yeah.
all throughout the '80s,
Yeah.
and shitty fucking neon clothes and
Yeah,
too many goddamn
I mean-
shoelaces, shit like that. LA Gear.
I feel like it's a little high, but still, it's still cool. It works with him for the basketball team. He's trying to be good. He's a bench warmer. He's not a starter, so it works out. But he wants to keep his nerdy friends, but he wants to taste a
Be
little bit of
cool.
the dark life. So everyone's at different places in their high school career. I think they're freshman or sophomore.
Mm-hmm. Something like that.
Yeah, because like the older kids, like Nancy, Jonathan, Steve, they're seniors. It's like their last
Well,
year.
Steve's out of fucking high school.
Oh yeah, Steve is out of high school because he gets roasted at one point. Robin's still in high school, I believe. I'm not. Is she a senior? Or is she out?
She's
That's a
gotta be a
little
senior.
vague.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
she's
I,
a senior
I
because
think Robin's out, right?
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
no,
Robin
she's
might
in,
be
'cause
out.
she's in the band. She's in band.
Yeah, she's in.
Oh yeah, she is in the band. Okay.
With Chrissy, we got to get back to Chrissy later.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, the thing about this new season, there's a shit ton of new characters.
Yep.
Like we already have these established characters. We're introduced to a shit ton more. We got the hairband or the hairband hair, like nerdy guy from the Hellfires
How
Club.
fucking dare you? You put some respect on Eddie Munson's fucking name, goddammit. How you gonna just say
Axl
hairband
Rose in
nerdy
high
dude?
school looking motherfucker.
Yeah, he do look
That's
like
what
he's
we
80
got.
years old. Like, I mean, but they say in the lore of the show, they say he's like failed or something like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, he's
So
been
he's a
pushed
su-
back.
He's a super
Super
duper
senior.
You know.
Yeah, it's what that. It's funny because that term has still survived to this day.
Yep.
Like you're a super senior if you got held back or failed and still there. So if you're like 22 and high school senior,
But Eddie, I mean, I'll say this really quickly. I fucking like Eddie. Eddie,
yeah,
he's fucking metal as shit. You know, he loves fucking Dungeons and Dragons. He's like the
D&D.
dungeon master. You know what I mean? He runs the whole Hellfire Club. He's the town drug dealer, and he's just
That's
real
true.
as shit. Like he's got a lot going on. He's an
and he's
interesting
in
new
a band,
character.
and they play every Saturday at the such and such club.
he's in his
guitarist.
band. Yep. And then for me, one of the returning characters had the hardest intro this season, and that's fucking Erica Sinclair. She literally comes in on some baller ass fucking soundtrack with the American flag strapped to her fucking back, running into this D&D shit like I run this. She tells her class, her rank, what she can do, and are you with it or are you gonna be a little bitch about it? I was like, God dang, just like
It was-
that. She didn't give no fucks. And
was funny
she's still
last
in middle
season.
school.
Yeah, last season she was like making fun of them of being nerds and dorks, and then you found out she's like super good at math, and
Mm-hmm.
she turned out to be a little bit of a nerd herself. And the fact that she's like owning it and just continue being that badass black girl, basically.
Mm-hmm. And she had her class. She was playing D&D, and she jumped in on the Hellfire Club and was like, "I'm about to be in this." And like Eddie was like, "I don't know about having chicks up in here." And when she showed her credentials, she's like, "All right, fuck it. you one of us now. So I was like, okay, cool. And then we got like the jock guy, which somehow Project keeps comparing him to Zach Morris, which I think is a very failed
I get that.
analogy.
I get that analogy.
I feel like he's more kind of Johnny Lawrencey, but that's me. Who else?
Or
Oh,
Richie
we
Rich.
Talking about
Chris.
the head of the basketball team.
Yeah,
That
he's
guy-
the team captain.
That guy's basically like the not in my backyard guy.
Yeah,
He's like the idol of like white supremacy. That's the guy.
Yeah,
I was just gonna
so
we're gonna
Yeah.
get everybody
the-
together and just fuck up this one guy who we have no idea did this or not. We're just gonna go and fuck everything up.
I call him the MAGA leader. I call
Yeah.
him when I call him like he was like a MAGA leader or like the MAGA player,
Or-
pretty much.
QAnon or some shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
I will hope-
Who else?
I will say
Go
this real
ahead.
quickly. I'm going to hold some of my theories that are a little bit out there on him until
my
next
God.
week. I want
I'm
Kronos
not
to
gonna-
finish. Old Ninja and I, sorry. Old Ninja and I have had some offline dialogues about it. I have some theories about him. We're going to talk next week.
Yeah,
you just
we're gonna,
wait.
yeah.
There's
I'm
going
not
to be
gonna bring.
there's gonna
I'm
be
not
some
bringing that up.
conspiracy spewed on this fucking show.
Yeah, I'm not bringing it up because
We'll wait.
I know that Blue's seen this. I don't know if he's seen these quote unquote signs. I'm doing air quotes. We got to wait for Cronus to get there. We'll see if you see this connection, which I'm just like somebody's fishing.
Put that
Just
tinfoil hat
saying.
on with me. Let's go.
Who else? I mentioned Chrissy. I feel like I'm missing. Oh, we got the.
You just said the word, Chrissy. You didn't even. I mean, come on now.
I said I mentioned Chrissy, but she's the star cheerleader, popular girl, home queen. She's the MAGA leader's girlfriend or whatnot. She's got
mean,
some
they-
demons going on.
In name only, I'll just say that. Like you don't really see much of them.
It's
You see
part-
that connection with Eddie though.
Is part of your conspiracy theory about what he did to her,
Who?
No.
Chrissy's boyfriend? What? Because obviously Chrissy had some trauma,
Yep.
but they don't go
Yes.
into like I think that I think she was pregnant, but you know that's just me.
Okay. We're gonna do a
Oh.
tinfoil episode on Chrissy and
Yeah, I think Chrissy was pregnant, and so does Kamek brought it up as well, because she was like puking and shit before. I thought it was the worms in the beginning, like got into her body, but it wasn't.
Oh yeah, the demigorgons.
Yeah, I think she
yeah.
was pregnant, maybe raped. So yeah,
There's some plausibility there.
Yeah, there's. I'm not
got
gonna.
folded
I'm not
like
gonna
laundry,
entertain
though.
this now. We gotta wait till next week. On the California side, I don't know the guy's name, but he's always stoned. with
Argyle,
his
man.
extra-
How you gonna respect the names? Argyle, right?
It's,
Wasn't that
it's
his name?
Pizza Boy. Pizza Boy with his
Surfer
like
Pizza Boy?
fucking Pizza Boy with his like 6 foot hair
that guy's
and
Chong. He's basically Chong. I mean, that's that guy.
he is. I mean,
Dude.
he literally was. He's
When he
literally
was
Chong.
talking to what was it, Will, and he was like, "Oh, dude, you got some cool. What was the fucking clothing he was talking?
Oh, it was like California Design or something like that. It was something like that.
Some
he
shit.
said the name brand. He was like, "Oh, that's some knockoff bullshit. We'll get you some good shit out here." I fucking died, but I can't remember what fucking brand he mentioned. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, I've never even heard that brand. I was like, what the fuck? But he's in it. Who else is on the California side?
Oh, don't forget Will.
Yeah, we got Will,
Will-
but I'm talking about new. I'm talking about new
Oh,
characters.
Dylan's.
Who's the girl? There's 11 gets a bully. Like, someone's
Angela or
specifically
Abby? What the
targets
fuck was
her.
that girl's name?
I think it is Angela, and it's
Fucking
like
11.
yeah, and like her bully has like a whole squad,
Yup.
and 11 is singled out, and so it's all bad,
I don't,
and like 11 is just trying to live her life.
I don't know if I
Go ahead,
ever
Carl.
wanted like watch a little girl just get fucking sonically crushed by a person. I just like can you just crush her? I just wanted her powers back just to like crush that one kid. Like
Yeah.
fuck her. You know what
It's
I
all
mean?
bad, yeah. Just watch her get folded, but like, and this girl was mean. Like, it wasn't as if she was just like, mean girl type. She was like conniving, plotting, like got more people into her plans to get at Elle. It's just all bad, especially when she, she literally talks shit about her dead father because
Yup.
she tells the class that her father's dead, and this girl's just shitting all over it, and the teacher's kind of like, well,
Technically,
I'll
you got a
allow it,
point.
but you guys need to be quiet.
That's
Like,
one thing I hate with like movies about like high school. Like the teachers, the principals, they'll sit there and watch this person be bullied, and not do a goddamn thing. And it's like, are you fucking
know what?
serious? Like,
I
you
feel like
step the
that's
fuck up.
I think that's closer to real life than you think,
I don't
Blue.
think so. I remember getting to fights in school, and the teacher would grab both of us. It would be like, oh, no, we're just gonna grab the awkward kid and send him to the principal's office because
I
most
will-
likely he started it or
I
some
will
shit.
say, reminder though, this is the mid '80s, and it was a girl fight, which is a little different sometimes, but you know.
So I mean, that's pretty much the first kind of 2 episodes. We do get a death in the first episode, I believe. End of the first one.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
you've
yeah,
seen
homegirl
Chrissy
killed
get
her.
I'm
folded.
looking at Kronos, even though you can't.
yeah. Sorry, I was remembering a core memory with my sister. But yeah,
shit.
it's yeah. Once that shit happened, I was like, oh, like this is like very violent. Like what? Okay, you're gonna break all of her bones and her eyes are gone. Okay, like you're just gonna do that, and then this goddamn show, it does such a good job with like ambiance and like music, like leading up. Like you think shit is okay, and then all of a sudden something totally random will happen. And it's like, okay, what the fuck is going on right now? Why is it so fucking scary? Can I go to sleep tonight? like there was like a little thing where like the with the other fucking the nerdy kid with the glasses, and the cop was like asking him like, why do you need to go into like this trailer park? And then all of a sudden, like the fucking cop just turned into like a goddamn demon, and I was like, oh, this is what you're doing right now? Like what? I thought I was the normal guy. Like what the fuck?
Just like you killed those people.
Okay, you did see the part. Okay, so I didn't want to give too much away, but I forgot. Like, yeah, because like in each episode, somebody gets folded. I mean, for real. When you get
much.
first episode, second episode, third episode, yeah, someone gets literally folded like a dirty napkin, and it's a kid. It's a high school kid. It's usually not even an adult. It's usually some kind of kid.
It's like a high school, like a freshman kid.
Freshman,
like a real
sophomore.
young kid. It's like real fucking fucked up to watch.
Yeah, and they show it. The worst is the sound, and you get to watch it suspended either in air or like just right in front of you. They just get folded, blood everywhere, all kinds of bad.
I mean,
and it's bad because like you see their trauma, which is just as bad.
With Chrissy, you didn't real. I mean, you knew she was going through some shit, but you didn't know she was about to get folded. You know what I mean?
You don't know what's gonna
she was the
happen.
first.
She's the first one. You have no
Yeah.
idea what's coming.
And so
The
Eddie's
first episode, you don't know nothing.
but like she goes to Eddie's place looking for that special K because regular weed is not going to like calm down her fucking demons. And Eddie's like, I know I got the special K. I can't remember where the fuck it is. He goes into the back room of his fucking broke down ass trailer. And when she gets folded, his eyes get this fucking big. Like, what the fuck am I witnessing?
And he got ghosts too. He fucking.
So another thing that I really like is that in the old 80s movies, we used to see the kids with no parents around. This one, when they like, where are the parents? There's always an explanation. The parents are gone doing something, and they have like a little mini story on why the parents are not there.
So I don't know if y'all have noticed this yet in the show, but the show is actually kind of meta. If you guys like really pay attention, because when they talk about, because this is all D&D based, and they go into like the meta piece about it, like in this season, about how they think that D&D is demonic, and like watching all these demonic ass things happening to people that are playing D&D is just like, do y'all see that at all?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because it's like that was a big thing in like the 80s, because they talked about like demon possessions and like Satan worshippers and all this shit, and then all of a sudden now you got fucking characters from D&D doing fucked up crazy shit in reality. I think that's a really cool way of like them telling the story, because I think like this generation, they don't really play a lot of D&D, or probably never fucking heard of it. And it's just like really, because I remember like back in our day, we heard about that shit like a lot. I mean, I played D&D like a long fucking time ago.
I was gonna check the chat because I know B-Boy. He's playing D&D now. In fact, he bought a Horizon Zero Dawn D&D game.
Holy shit.
My sister-in-law, she plays D&D with her friends on like the fucking weekends. So
good shit.
there's still people out there playing, which I was surprised about. I was like, shit, I don't even know how to play. You playing? What the hell?
I mean, it had its heyday, and like that popularity scared the fuck out of some religious folks and worried ass parents.
D&D has always been kind of the foreground for Stranger Things. It's always played a role in the series. Like even from the beginning, it's been that way.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. But I get the whole thing where Cronus is coming from in terms of the meta. Like, I think have they named? Did they give a name to where you are to the big bad yet?
Yeah, Vecna.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Vecna, and then all they do is reference like, the stuff from Lord of the Rings and D&D, the rest of the fucking series. So it's all about that shit, man. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that and like old product placement, like fucking peanut butter. All that shit's fucking
Yes.
placed. We get Joyce. Joyce goes on an adventure. She
Yep.
literally leaves the kids behind, gives them an excuse on why she's leaving. Hence, again, why are their parents gone? When like law enforcement shows up and like, where are your parents? They're like, oh, they went on a business trip.
And
And we
But she left
see
it with an
what the
adult,
trip
though.
is.
but
What's up?
the other thing I was going
I
to
said
just
they
really
leave him
quickly
with the
say.
adult with a son, Otis.
Well,
What?
you have the fear of like D&D, like we already talked about, and then you have the whole red fear too. In terms of like, the commies, and this is in the Cold War era too.
Yeah, this is still this is 3 years before the wall
but
came down.
the Red Scare still to this day is still around. I'm like, how the fuck is this thing is still a thing? Like people in America still fear communism so bad. I'm just like, bruh, this is like fucking 30, 40 years later and you're still worried about communism? Like, what the fuck are you even talking about? It's so insane.
Yep, it was crazy.
We got other personal shit to worry about.
I'm trying to. I gotta pass this to Cronus because you're the one that's kind of behind how far what was the last episode you watched, and take us through what you.
The last
what you
episode
saw.
that I watched was basically Max. She realized that the connection to all the kids that are getting folded up like fucking napkins was trauma, and then she realized, oh shit, I got trauma too. So, and that's when you see Vecna calling out to her, Max. So, yeah, that's the end.
It wasn't. He didn't do it the sexy way like from the Goofy movie where it's like, man.
No. He was like, I want to fold you up too, bitch.
Oh,
First of all, fucking Vector kept giving me Freddy Krueger vibe. I was like, holy shit, this is
yeah,
fucking good on my
guaranteed.
spine.
Because like these kids were in a waking nightmare, and I was like, dude, this is totally Nightmare on Elm Street. They gave you like the creepy, like what looks like the Elm Street house. There's a throwback. There's a scene from Friday the 13th, the first one, the boathouse. That's like the famous scene in Friday the 13th. It looks like they recreated it because it plays a pretty semi-prominent role for a little while early on in the season. So it's like, what the fuck?
This whole season is a homage to 80s horror, like start to fucking finish. And
It's like a fucking nod to like Nightmare on Elm Street. Or not Elm Street.
There's one
Friday the 13th.
homage to a 90s film, and that's Silence of the Lambs.
okay.
Oh yeah.
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 So that it's very, very reminiscent of that. Don't get me wrong. There's other 80s movies that use like same kind of trope, but they kind of do a more Silence of the Lambs type.
It's
homage.
a huge impact in this one too. Like the one with the clown from Stephen McQueen. Like like it like how the people are floating. That's clearly fucking it. Like you float too, and the people are floating when they get put in.
God damn, I didn't notice that. Holy shit.
Yeah, you're float. It was weird to me about Max's trauma because we only see one aspect of it, but then when she realizes she's grouped in to this other group of missing kids, she brings up memories that we didn't see, like her getting nosebleeds, her doing like we see her take Tylenol and stuff for her headaches, but she doesn't really focus on it.
No, but you
much.
do see it. They actually show all that in the show.
I remember her with the nosebleed.
She does. She has a nosebleed, and she talks about taking Tylenol. They show her taking Tylenol, before too. You really got to pay attention. Not saying that you're not paying attention, but there's so much shit in this fucking show. It's easy to miss certain. Well, yeah,
details.
especially when you have a cheerleader on episode 1 getting folded up like a fucking napkin. and her eyes blown out. Like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah.
Then you're like, okay, she has a nosebleed. Okay, it's not as bad as getting folded up.
Yeah, right, exactly. And then you have someone we know as an audience that's innocent, but this man is on the run for his life because he's deemed to be different. He doesn't look like a jock or whatever. He looks like a rocker, which the town, because it's a small town, they don't approve. and so he's automatically
Nah,
the other.
Zach Morris got that town fired up against old boy Eddie. Don't
Mhm.
let's be real.
He's
You
not
know?
Well,
fucking Zach Morris. God dang it.
Yeah, it
Not
is.
even close. No, he's
It's funny because there's actually a little nod to little Japanese horror too with like the ring because like the whole thing is like after 7 days of what's the guy's name Vector's kind of reaching out to you is when you're gonna fucking die and like that shit kind of fucking and it's similar in the ring where like after the 7th day he shows up and he takes your fucking soul or whatever but I just think that was a good call out too. If anybody, I'm not sure if anybody else noticed that, but at least I caught that.
Yeah, there was definitely a time period. You hear that grandfather clock, you hear him calling your fucking name, your first government name, it's over.
Mhm.
That's fucking it. Like,
you about to get folded.
I love
But
it.
like we did with what's going on with what's the guy's name with Popper, like his whole backstory, like holy shit, like he's locked up in a Russian fucking prison and like he's got crazy shit happening with him. And I'm trying to think where Cronus is, so I don't want to spoil what happens with him. But like,
Yeah, don't go too far.
you feel how you're rooting for like I'm more interested in Hopper's story for a second just because it's so good and impacting that I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck's gonna happen to Hopper? And they cut back to America, so like that. I'm like,
Back to
no,
the
I want to go back
kids.
to Hopper. I want to go back to Hopper, dude.
Yeah, no,
Hopper's
I'm
gonna
in
escape. He's gotta get out of there.
basically where Joyce is flying over to Alaska to pay money to the guard person to get Hopper back. So
To Yuri.
yeah.
Wait, did you get to the peanut butter
Enzo.
scene?
Enzo. That's what he calls
Is it
himself, right?
Enzo?
Yeah. Enzo.
That's not his real name, but yeah.
Did you get to the peanut butter part? Okay,
Yeah,
he
he's
hasn't got there yet.
yeah, he hasn't gotten there yet. But yeah, I think that's as far as we can go before we start spoiling shit.
Yeah, next
So
week
I
we're gonna have
keep
some
hitting
fucking,
walls.
we're gonna have some deep as balls conspiracy theories because there's a lot to fucking unpack on this show.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't
yeah.
stop binging it. Like,
Me,
I had
same
other
here.
shit to do. I had promised Jen and Old Ninja I would play some fucking Destiny 2 with them. I fucking flaked. I was like, man, I need to finish this goddamn show.
See, I did like you used to. I compartmentalized. I did like one episode a night. I got lucky and had extra time. I did 2 episodes one night, but I still, made time for the homies. Did some Destiny, did some No Man's Sky with B Boy, who's in the chat now. So I prioritize.
He's got 2 kids and a
got
girl, so
No, but he ditched all
Alright,
of them
a little
to binge. He ditched all of them to binge Stranger Things.
Dude, I couldn't stop, man. And here's the other thing too. These episodes, like, okay, an hour-long TV show
fucking
is
long.
about 44 minutes. Like when you take out the fucking commercials and shit. Some of these episodes were 90 plus minutes on their fucking own. No commercial break and shit. These were like mini fucking movies sometimes. You know what I mean? And so some of them were just a little over 60 minutes, but they went long and they put the fucking budget in it. They put the CGI in it, like the music. You know what I mean? Kate Bush is fucking having a field day, swimming in money like Scrooge McDuck and shit. Like, you know what I mean? They paid some money to these folks. I'm just saying. So good shit.
I love her. She's like 68 or some shit.
Yeah,
Bush?
I mean, she's still with us. You know what I mean, right? She's still alive and kicking.
Yeah, as far as I know. I don't
Oh,
think she's gone.
by the
She
way,
is
though,
63 years old.
so my fucking dumbass, I tried to like go deep into her catalog or whatever, and I was like, let me see what Kate Bush got to offer because I was listening to that running up the hill on loop for like most of this fucking weekend. Dude, she tried to do a fucking Maxwell cover of this woman's work, and she couldn't sing and hit any of those notes worth a goddamn. I was like, you bitch, you shouldn't have even fucking tried.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I like. Don't get me wrong. I like you, Kate Bush, but holy shit, you shouldn't have done that shit. I mean, you got.
She has. She has a track with Prince.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll-
her and
I'll
Prince
check-
put out a track.
check it
I've
out.
heard part of it, and I was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
It's definitely progressive. I'll put it that way.
All right. Holy
Yeah, they did.
shit.
Why Should I Love You together?
I'll check that one
So
out.
it-
But yeah, this is just our first parter for Stranger Things. We'll come back to it next week, and technically in a month there's part 2.
Yeah, July
One
1st or
thing I gotta
3rd or
say is that they act like they forgot about Dre. That's all I gotta say. Holy shit! The last episode was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
All I gotta say, like, even though I said earlier, like, Skeptical Negro, that'll be his name forever for me. What I was talking about earlier, how like he grew up and stuff, but I've been very disappointed with him thus far in the season. of him just kind of going along with this fucking madman, just like, yeah, let's go fuck everybody up, including your friends, the guys you love, the guys that have been your road dogs forever. Or we're gonna go and beat them up at minimum.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, yeah, you could just leave, like for real. Stand up for your friends, man. Your real friends.
You're so early on. You got to keep watching.
Yeah, I
back
hope
then-
at some point he stands up for them because that's
I think
not
back then, like, I'm pretty sure those guys would fucking turn around and beat him up. So he's probably just trying to save his own skin for now.
Take the ass whooping.
Oh damn!
Being black back then was a whole lot fucking harder.
Good as black people on the basketball team. Besides him.
Is there
but-
shit? I don't even.
But they were
remember him.
indoctrinated too, though.
Yeah, they were just assholes.
Yeah. Let's not talk about everybody black is, on the same page. So
Yeah.
Zach Morris got them boys fired the fuck up in the wrong direction. You know what I mean?
You know, he reminds me more of remember Richie Rich? Was it Richie Rich? No, Silver Spoon.
oh,
what's that
yeah,
character's
yeah.
name?
Ricky,
Oh.
something. The one with
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Carlton.
Ricky Schroeder.
Yeah, there you go. Ricky Schroeder. That's
Yeah.
him.
Damn,
got
I don't
that
know.
vibe.
I don't know where that name came from. It just popped out of my fucking head
There you go.
last minute.
all right, we're gonna do one last show, and then we got to go to something serious because I'm gonna give Stitch a little bit more time to possibly join because I need his we would like his input on this serious topic.
For
But
sure.
the last thing we're talking about is kind of bullshit. And wait, Ninja, you got something?
Yeah, I was gonna say because people have been they've been talking about it in the chat, and I think I'm the only one who's watched the show.
Kenobi?
Yes.
I watched.
No,
it.
I'm watching it.
I've seen it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Wait, what'd you say, Prodigy?
I seen it.
All of it?
I mean,
At
I didn't
least the
see,
first
didn't they
two?
release the third one already? I didn't see the
They
third
released
one.
the third one today.
Yeah, and I'm
Third one's
not
today.
done with the second, but keep going.
Okay.
But keep
yeah,
going,
we
go
haven't
ahead.
done the second one because people were asking. It's mainly involving the controversy or the
yeah.
backlash
Well,
that's been out because
Don't start with that. Let's
seems to-
talk about the show.
Yeah, I'm gonna
first,
talk about
and
the
then-
show
yeah.
first. I want to talk about the show first, but people are talking or asking us what we think about the backlash. But first, Disney Plus dropped Kenobi last week on Friday. They dropped 2 episodes. I'm gonna talk about the first 2 episodes because I think I'm the only one that saw episode 3 today. So we catch up with Kenobi on Tatooine. He's like living the hermit life. He's chilling. We get a flashback of the Order 66 from like little kids purview. Like they're being protected by their teachers, but their teachers get dropped. The kids are kind of left on their own devices. They're like, what do we do?
The
Like,
young
we gotta
Padawan,
run.
Padawan Jedis.
Yeah, younglings. They're youngling Padawans. They're running through the Jedi Temple as everyone else around them is getting shot the fuck up. We start off with that, and then we end up on Tatooine with Obi-Wan. He's like living the hermit life. We see Inquisitors are on Tatooine because they tracked a Jedi there that's not Obi-Wan, and they get him. He manages to escape, but there's some infighting between the Inquisitors. Like one of them's a bit power hungry, the other ones are like, you need to fall back, like you need to follow instructions, follow the rules, instead of trying to like run through. Like you're still kind of obsessed with Obi-Wan. She's like, fuck y'all, I'm gonna do what I want.
One looks like Data. One looks like Raiden from Mortal Kombat a little bit.
He does, though.
It's all bad.
I'm just saying.
So then we see Obi-Wan's like he's doing like these weird sandfish things. They're like it's huge. It's like a giant building, but it's a creature. So they're cutting it up, and he's like working, manual labor. He's got, he's a butcher. He's feeding his OP, and he's just sitting there. The Jedi that escaped the Inquisitors, he catches up with Kenobi. He's like, "Oh, you're the great Obi-Wan Kenobi." He's like, "Fuck, I ain't."
I'm Ben.
I'm Ben. My name's Ben, homie. He's like, "No, I know you did this," and he's like, "You know what? You need to quit talking so loud. Like, you need to just forget your past, forget everything else." He's all, "But I got my lightsabers." All, you know what you can do with that? You go out to the middle of the desert, you go bury that shit. Forget you ever saw me. Forget the past, move on, start a family, do something else. Don't come back here. And dude's like, "Nah, we need to fight." It's all right, whatever, bro. So like, we see Obi-Wan keeping an eye on Luke. he builds Luke this ratty ass like T16 toy, and he goes out and like Owen shows up. He's like, "Bruh, why are you giving this like Kmart ass fucking flea market toy? We don't want this shit. We don't want nothing from you. Why don't even show up here?" He's all, "Yeah, but the boy needs to be trained." He's all, "Bruh, you did not do a good job last time, now did you?"
Like you trained his
Oh,
father.
fucking! You do that fucking shade out on.
It's fucked up because Obi-Wan literally has nothing to say. He literally just stands there.
He should have just force choked
I
him.
like-
It's okay to go to the dark side with that fucking shade. I'm just saying.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
all bad.
Fuck his
And,
couch.
like he's just sitting there, and like, we see that the Jedi that was, wanted to kind of fight back or whatnot, he's fucking hung out to dry. He's literally on display.
He was hung
Town
out to
center.
die, not to dry,
Well,
to die.
Same difference.
No, it's not.
It's kind of
If you hang out to dry, you're just a little wet and you dry up and you be all right. But he's definitely
What?
dead, 100% dead.
well. What's kind of cool is that if you listen to, well, at least I did, I listened to the audiobook of Ahsoka, and it's and part of her story, she talks about how like it's hard to be a Jedi because for a Jedi, like your whole instinct is to save people. Like you're there to save people and help people, and so like to find a fucking Jedi is like fucking. I almost think of that scene from Who Framed Roger Rabbit when he does the shave and a haircut on the fucking wall, and Roger Rabbit come busting out.
Oh, shit.
Dude, that's fucking Jedi, dude.
Damn.
I will say, when the one Jedi is
I got to put that on the list.
hung up or whatever, I mean, it's obviously fucking dead. Kronos is absolutely right. He ain't, just wet or whatever. But it's not like he's, he doesn't look like he's completely like soaked, lynched per se. Like you don't see it's not bloody. You know what I mean?
No.
But he's definitely a dead body.
There's no
Yeah, his
blood in
definitely
Star Wars. What are you
on
talking about?
display. Yeah.
I said there's no
He's
blood in
on-
Star Wars.
Yeah, because it's usually cauterized. But he's on display. The Inquisitors come through asking everybody, including Owen, and Obi-Wan is there. He's hiding like in the stables and whatnot. And they're asking, there's a Jedi here. We think some of you know where he's at. We want someone to talk. Some chick's like, "Oh, Empire got no jurisdiction here." So what you say? Slap. Her whole hand came off. Everyone's like, "Holy shit!" Her whole arm's all fucking smoking and shit. She's all, "Who else got something to say?"
What's her name? Reva, right?
Reva, yeah, Reva's the.
She didn't let that chick finish her fucking sentence before that lightsaber was out and that fucking hand was off.
hand was off.
She cut her head off like she was an Arabian Night.
Yeah, so she uses Owen as like bait for the crowd. She's like, "Hey, if someone doesn't speak up, I'm gonna kill Owen.
Whoa,
I'm gonna
hold
kill
on,
this
hold on.
dude."
Real quick. In the very first scene with her, though, she basically was about to slice that Jedi in half immediately, and Data, the Inquisitor, stopped her like mid fucking swing. Remember?
Put some respect on his name. It's the Grand Inquisitor.
That's Data.
He's grand in quotes. I'm using fucking exaggerated air quotes because he can be as grand as he wants to, but he had a bad day. I'm just saying.
The one thing I'm a little confused. Like, I'm surprised they're not. I'm not sure how the Star Wars lore work, but like, they can't. Why don't they try to convert me? Anakin fucking switch over to the dark side. Like, why can't they fucking beat these Jedi's into the dark side?
They don't even want to. Oh, go ahead.
Ooh, bruh. Yeah, that's a lot. First of all, most Jedi's will never convert to the dark side. The reason why that Anakin went to it is because of like really extreme circumstances. And this is the reason why most of the Jedi's didn't want him to become like an actual Jedi, is because he had like darkness within him, and they saw it. At least the good ones saw it. Like most other
the
Jedi's
Masters
were just
saw
like it wasn't there.
Well,
Yeah.
Also, don't forget, you're supposed to be like a monk in a lot of ways. You're not supposed to have a love interest because, like, that affects some of the things that you need to do as a Jedi. It's a big taboo. And Anakin was the only one that we know of in movie lore that I'm aware of. You stop me if I'm wrong, that went out of his way and actually had basically a marriage, right? I mean,
Well,
I mean, you can
I mean,
say
Leia had a kid.
Yeah, Leia had a kid, and she was.
but was she trained
Goddamn
as a
Skywalkers,
I mean,
man.
she had
Skywalkers
obviously she
just
had
fucking shit up.
the force powers. We saw her ghost fucking flying or whatever. But was she wasn't trained as a little one, as a Padawan in the Jedi
No,
way.
she wasn't.
Like we see that.
And
in this.
I don't want to say that they're not allowed to love. They're not allowed to have attachments, because that attachment
Okay.
because Anakin explains like Jedi's work are supposed to have love for your fellow being
Yeah, yeah, but that's
right?
like that platonic love versus like fuck buddy. You
Versus
know what I mean?
romantic or yes,
But
yes,
then
of
like
course.
there's
And
the whole master fucking Padawan type shit. Like when Qui-Gon died, fucking um Obi-Wan got all fucking pissed off. So like I mean he's not he should be having those emotions because he's a fucking Jedi. He should be all emotional neutral, but he fucking got pissed
yeah,
off and killed
he checked his shit and took down Darth Maul.
Qui-Gon got folded hard.
Yeah.
He got cut.
Another
He
reason
got
why
he got
there's
hate
only
voted.
so many Inquisitors. There's actually not a whole lot.
Yeah.
And the main reason is we see it in the show is Riva. When you have that many Force kind of acolytes, the reason why the Sith destroyed themselves, they're all trying to take power for themselves.
Well, and they're not Sith.
No, they're not Sith, but in the reason why you don't want more Jedi to become those kind of dark acolytes is because there's too much infighting,
Well, I
as
mean,
we see in the show.
yeah, I think you're saying that kind of wrong though, because I mean, Jedi don't have dark acolytes. The Sith do. The Sith are
Yeah,
not
that's what I'm
Jedi.
saying. No. When Blue is asking why don't they convert these Jedi's to be
Oh
Inquisitors?
yeah, because that's not
Yeah,
their way.
no.
Yeah.
So, I mean, besides, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a point where the Emperor and Vader end up extinguishing the Inquisitors. So that's just
Wait, isn't that in a
my.
magazine? The
No, I feel like
Inquisitor?
that's going to happen. I
All
feel
fucking
like that's on the
tabloids.
way. No. I feel like that's
Typing
gonna
up stories. Oh, Darth Vader used to be such and such.
happen.
All right. So,
But
we're not gonna get too far in the series, because people want to know like our opinion on a certain actress on the
God,
show.
fucking
go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the actress that plays Riva, I think that's her name. How it's pronounced, right? Riva. What's her name in? It's like Moses.
Her
What's
name
last
is Moses Ingram.
Moses Ingram. So apparently she's getting a lot of backlash from shitty, quote unquote fanboys, for just being black and a woman and being in Star Wars. And honestly, I'm not surprised because people are fucking assholes today, especially in America. It's anytime you have something that's out of the ordinary, even though George Lucas's wife is fucking black, people seem to forget about that shit.
They sure do.
They get really angry if it's not like a white dude playing a Jedi. This is not. First of all, it's Fantasyland. Okay, so I have no idea why people are mad about the color of. You're cool with like the baddest ass Jedi being a fucking 3 foot tall green fucking piece of snot, but you get super angry about a black woman being, not even a Jedi, like an Inquisitor, and it's just like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Like seriously, this is all just pretend. And there's plenty of other. There's like something like 20,000 fucking different species, or probably more than that.
22 million.
22 million, yeah, in the Star Wars universe, and you get mad because one of them happens to be black and a woman, and it's like, do you even understand like what sci-fi is all about? Like the best sci-fis out there are ones that are super altruistic, and the fact that you're missing the point on that is you're the problem with like humanity. Like seriously,
yeah.
the fuck outta here.
And then like a lot of the sci-fi shows, they're fucking like groundbreaking. Like especially like for Star Trek, how they had the first interracial like kiss on fucking TV with
Shatner,
and I fucked her name. I can't. fuck her name.
Michelle, it's your
Michelle
girl.
Nichols?
You interviewed
Yes.
her, goddammit. You
Yeah.
interviewed
Yeah,
her
well,
in real
girl,
life.
like-
How dare you,
Well,
Blue?
no, I know her name. I just want to fuck it up when I said her character's name.
Oh, her street
Aurora.
name, Uhura.
Yeah, like when I did that interview, my whole thought process was like, don't fuck up her name, don't fuck up her name, don't fuck up her name, and I fucked up her name. And she's like,
That's why
But
that
she
anime
told me
girl's
it
looking for
was
your ass right now.
Yeah, god dang.
But back to Star Wars, yeah. First of all, I will say this: Reva is not bad at all. Like full stop. I think she's a cool new character. I literally don't see, obviously, other than the blatant racism, I don't see what anybody's fucking problem is with her. She's more interesting to me than the other two Inquisitors.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like she's impulsive and violent and badass. I want to see fucking more. You know what I mean? Like it makes zero sense other than you just hate black people. And remember, though, when you're going to talk about this type of stuff, obviously, we all know that James Earl Jones was the voice of Darth Vader. We all know that Billy Dee was in Empire and Return of the Jedi. But, and obviously, you had Mace Windu with Samuel L. Jackson in the prequels or whatever. But
You know,
But
also
for the-
homeboy from Mandalorian too. The guy who was
Oh,
giving out
Carl
the warrants.
Weathers.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah,
was great
yeah.
too. But I was going to mention, like, don't forget John Boyega. Like, he literally got erased from some of the, or not almost erased, like put into the way background from the movie posters for the biggest fucking movie at the time, back in 2015, Force Awakens. And he was the victim of a whole bunch of extreme racism. And, never forget Kelly
Asian
Marie
girl.
Tran from Last Jedi, taking all that fucking unnecessary bullshit ass internet racism blatantly for no fucking good reason. So we've seen this over and over again with Star Wars.
So with continuing with that, the star of the show, Ewan McGregor, literally put out like a minute-long video yesterday saying that he saw Moses's DMs. He saw what people were writing to her, and he said it broke his heart. He's like, this breaks my heart. Like, people that are, racist to these, the stars that are in the show, and he says they're not Star Wars fans in his mind. I'm like, you know what? Rightfully so. Like, they shouldn't be Star Wars fans if you're just going to attack the actress before you even see them
Yep.
in the show. You're just attacking, what she looks like and whatnot. There's other people that I know that they're saying like she's not a good actress, and Ewan was like, dude, she's a spectacular actress. She's been nominated for an Emmy. Like, all these people are saying that she can't act. That I've seen mostly white men, that are saying both the young actress that plays Leia and Moses are terrible, and they happen to be the most prominent women on the show. I'm like, dude, why are you attacking them without like any provocation?
And right off the bat, though.
Yeah, the one
fucking
thing,
first
the
goddamn
one,
episode.
the one complaint that I saw, this is the kind of complaints that I saw. I couldn't believe this because it was like a huge paragraph. I think Prodigy might have seen this one too, where there's someone complaining that Moses's speech did not fit the era.
Oh God.
The way that she talked did not seem to belong. And I was like,
Fucking
dude,
air.
Millennia in the future doesn't belong. Are you serious? Millennia in the
he
future.
wrote like this huge paragraph about the way that she talked did not fit the era, did not fit the sequence, and all this other bullshit. And then he tried to backpedal at the end, like, I like the character, but somehow she doesn't fit. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck is this? Like, someone put him on blast because this is the kind of shit that they're complaining about. Shit that doesn't make sense, and they're just using fucking nonsense to hide behind the fact that they're basically kind of being low-key racist.
Not even low key. It's
You know,
high key.
There's other
when she
people that are
showed up-
saying that she can't act. I'm like, dude, do y'all have Emmys out there or Academy Awards out there? Are y'all judging or some shit? I mean, I can understand if you don't like her performance, that's one thing. But then, like, what I see is like, oh, her performance is terrible. Disney went woke again. You go woke, you go broke. This is what happens. This is what they need to do is and then they start bringing in all this shit, like basically white male rage type shit. And I'm like, dude, this is basically a coded racist rant without you saying racist shit.
But you're not. I'll just say this really quickly, Bill. I'm sorry. You're not supposed to like her character because
that's
she
true.
is evil and violent. But
Extremely
you love
violent.
Vader. Everybody loves Vader. Go ahead.
Papa Bear actually corrected me. My bad. It's not Millennia in the future. It's a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. I fucked that shit
True.
up, so my bad. But either way, it's nowhere near today. So for somebody to say, "Oh, we're her era," you don't know the fucking era because somebody made it up, bitch. Like, seriously, like, people that want to have like these rights on like fiction, like, it doesn't even make any goddamn sense to me. Like, somebody's literally if you didn't have a problem with the way that Gungans and those other fucking fish people talked back then, but you had a problem with the way that a black
trap.
actress that's actually a human being talks, and even then, like, none of her verbiage or anything like that was like anywhere near problematic for anybody. Just admit it that you had a problem with a black woman being in a semi-lead role in the show, and she has a more prominent role than the other, bad guys.
So I can
just admit
understand.
it.
I can understand that you might be upset that she is more prominent than the Grand Inquisitor, at least in the first episode. I can see
Data.
that because his character shows up in Star Wars Rebels, and he's a huge protagonist on that show.
But they're
But
trying to pretend like she said the word cheddar, and she didn't say cheddar.
oh, damn. No, well,
wait.
people
So
try to
we-
hide behind the fact that they're like, oh, we can't criticize her being a bad actress, so now we're racist because we said that she's a bad actress. And it's like, well, you're using that to kind of hide behind, like why do you think that she's a bad actress? And they don't explain. They don't explain why they think that she's bad. I'm like, well, then you're just being a dumbass or an asshole, just saying that you don't like her. The only thing I found criticism with personally is that her scene running through the rooftops of the planet, like she was doing parkour and shit, was kind of unnecessary. But I mean, I let it go, but I'm like, she got to where she needed to go, but it didn't need to be all flashy and shit. But her performance
Rick and
overall,
Morty, get that parkour.
oh damn! To
wait,
me, her
one quick
overall
thing with
performance
her-
was on track with Trilla.
Go ahead.
Well, one great thing with her is that, like, typically, like, with, like, black actresses, maybe it's mainly males, but, like, her hair was on point. Like, her hair looked fucking great. Like, it wasn't, like, overly, it wasn't, like, every time I see hair in movies, it makes me think of fucking, like, The Walking Dead, how fucking Dre had, like, a bad fucking wig on, and then, like,
I forgot about
even King such and such, I can't remember his name.
Tiger
Like,
King, dude.
Yeah, I mean, his dread looked decent, but it was, like, obviously looked pretty bad, so they did it right with her hair. But I was also thinking, did Rosie O'Dawson get any fucking shit for her portrayal of as Ahsoka? Because
No, of course
I
not.
feel like
I
she
mean,
did.
No, she didn't.
No,
Well, I know she got some shit because, like, the original voice actress, people wanted her to play that role.
So that was the only thing, but her performance wasn't really in question. It was really Ashley Eckstein, because her and Rosario are only a year apart, but Rosario is like a good foot taller than Ashley. Ashley's a very small person.
Yep.
Because I've seen her in person. I saw her at Prodigy wasn't with me. I think we separated. But I saw her at Comic-Con the year that Jedi Fallen Order
they could
came
just
out.
Tom Cruise it up. I'm just saying. Tom Cruise is a very tiny man as well.
God damn.
He is.
You get on,
Could
he's
have,
always on
but-
platforms and shit. It's good to go.
On milk cartons. But
The one
I'm pretty
actor-
sure they probably asked Ashley, and she may have said no. We don't know that. I don't know that. I don't know if anyone else did. So I know that Ashley has cosplayed as Ahsoka, and it looked amazing. But as far as doing live action or whatnot, I don't know what went down. I don't know what they're saying. I don't know if Ashley wanted to put herself out there. I know she's got a family that she probably wanted to be closer to. I don't know. I don't know all the details, but I know the fans were freaking out. But as far as Rosario's performance, I didn't see any nowhere near this kind of hate.
Everybody loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
The
didn't see
one
nowhere
actor,
near the kind
the
of
one
hate.
actor who deserved to hate is fucking Hayden Christensen because he was horrible.
I mean, he got he was a white male actor. He did get hate. I mean, I think if we're all being honest and fair, and maybe he even would even admit it years later, it wasn't the best of jobs. I'm not putting all the blame on him. You know, it is what it is.
I actually liked him, to be
You
honest.
know,
I liked him as Anakin.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard role to fill. I mean, and if you rewind the tape on this fucking show, you'll hear me spew a whole lot of hate. I really disliked that Commander Holdo character from The Last Jedi. I really just thought she was awful. But I didn't hate on Laura Dern. You know what I mean? I'm not sending her fucking angry tweets and shit.
You called her that purple-haired bitch. I'm just saying.
It was cunt. It was cunt. I called her a
That
cunt.
is
Purple-haired
true.
cunt.
Oh,
She is a
God
cunt.
dang.
Fuck Holdo.
Damn. So, I mean, but there's one thing to not like the character, but to attack the actress, that's completely different. And that's what both Star Wars has put out a notification about racist fans. And then we have Ewan McGregor putting out a video going for all the smoke with all these racist fans as well.
Yep.
So I think we're in a side position to where the content creators have to tell racist fans to shut the fuck up.
Damn.
Yeah.
James Earl
that's-
Jones is 91 years old.
Yeah,
Yes, he
well, dude,
is.
in Coming to America too, they had that funeral scene, and I was like, damn, he's getting up there now. So like, you know,
I mean, for the most of it coming in America too, he was in like he was like in a wheelchair or he was laying down. He wasn't mobile at all.
no, he's up
So
there. I know we were trying to have Stitch on here, but I think we got to just kind of jump into some real life stuff.
Yeah.
Real quickly, before Stranger Things, the first episode of season 4 dropped, they did a disclaimer. And, you know, obviously it's what we're going to get into in a second, but the disclaimer was all about, hey, we're going to show you a whole lot of horrific scenes with some minors. And it's based on recent events. You know, this was filmed a long time ago.
A year ago.
Yeah, it's no reflection on what's going on currently, but they put out a fucking huge disclaimer based on what happened in Texas. So that's just kind of the preface for it. Kronos, if you want to set it up, go ahead.
Yeah, so I might lose some people on what I'm gonna say about this whole situation. So we're gonna talk about Uvalde, Texas, and the mass shooting that happened there. Honestly, there's been the two most recent, you know, publicized mass shootings. I say publicized because I'll get into it in a minute, but there's been way more mass shootings than most people even recognize. I'll give you a fun fact. 2022, which is this year, if you listen in the future, whatever, but it's 2022. For Memorial Day, there was 11 mass shootings. Memorial Day weekend, 11 mass shootings. Most people only know about none of them.
One or two.
Yeah, maybe one or two if you're local. So a lot of them, they get missed. And so the Uvalde mass shooting, it was in a school, it was a Robb Elementary School in that city. And, you know, I think it's the body count right now it's 22 people that were killed. 19 of them were children and 17 people were wounded by an 18-year-old adult, I guess. I mean, he's a teenager, but also an adult, who bought an AR-15, a couple of them. I think he bought two AR-15s, and went on site. He shot his grandmother in the face, who survived, amazingly, and stole her car, drove to this elementary school, and crashed it getting there, which is kind of weird, into a ditch.
How do you crash that? I wanted to know about. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
There's a lot of misinformation, which we'll get into in a minute. And then he went into the school and just went on a murderous rampage and killed a bunch of kids and two teachers. And the thing...
And they said when he first entered school, he sprayed 100 bullets like in the first 4 minutes.
Yeah, the information is coming out now. He shot at least 315 rounds in 77 minutes. And this is the problem, is like when we first heard about this shooting, is that there was a whole bunch of fucking lies coming from the police department and the local government, because they said that they made it sound like this guy went in there and they immediately just like apprehended him and killed him. Not apprehended, just went in there and killed him. But what really happened is that the police responded within like minutes, but then for some reason, which we're still trying to fucking get into, that they didn't really respond for 77 minutes. And so they left this fucking murderous asshole in a school full of children for 77 minutes until somebody finally broke protocol. Somebody that wasn't attached to the Uvalde police department. It was actually a Border Patrol agent who came in and just got the keys, came in and just fucking killed the guy. So for 77 minutes, this guy was killing kids and, you know, and teachers. And there were people there. There were cops there on site. There was like 19 police officers on site in tactical gear with, you know, ARs and handguns and all kinds of other shit.
Weren't they SWAT? Some of them SWAT?
I think some of them were, and they just
SWAT.
and they just sat there.
I'm big quotes.
And this is I don't know if it was on this podcast or maybe it was on Balance Exchange, but I talked about it on like one of the podcasts I don't think that the police departments should be in charge of situations like this because of this situation specifically like this. Because they are not equipped. We keep giving them all this fucking money for shit like this, but they are not equipped mentally to deal with shit like this. And I might piss off some police officers. at this point in time, I don't really give a fuck. Because there was 19 fucking cowards that were there that listened to over 300 shots being fired in a school full of children, and none of them did anything for 77 minutes. I don't give a fuck if your direct superior said, oh, hold on, it's a barricaded position. If you still hear, children screaming and getting shot, where is your excuse then? Like, what are you doing? And then, hearing them trying to change their story. The story has changed thus far today 13 fucking times from the police department. And literally one of their higher ups said that if we would have sent our officers in, they could have gotten shot. Bitch, that is literally what the fuck you're there for. That is part of your job, is putting yourself in danger to save innocent lives.
Protect and serve.
That's the fucking creed. It's protect and serve. So for you to say, what if they got shot? But you know that innocent kids are not fucking trained at all for fucking anything. And for you to sit there and say, what if I get shot for going in there to say, you lost the whole point of being a police officer. You lost it. And 19 of them, that's a fucking shitload of fucking cowards in the same PD. It wasn't, all 19 of them weren't in the same PD. It was multiple PDs that were there and multiple, law enforcement agencies that were there that didn't do fucking shit. And the amount of fucking cowardice that I saw from those people is fucking disgusting. And and this changed my mind. This in the last mass shooting is really changing my mind on who the fuck needs access to these firearms? And I'm not saying that nobody needs access to these firearms. Don't get me wrong. You could have, reasons to have, AR-15s or whatever, but it needs to be with some fucking training, first of all. Because the first thing I hear, because they're talking about now, raising the age of having, access to assault rifles, which I don't like the name assault rifles because there's a whole thing about it. I'm not going to get into it because it's kind of irrelevant to this point because a bunch of kids got killed. And I want to fucking do what a lot of these right-wing fucking dumbasses do and say, and fucking assault rifles, this and that. It doesn't fucking matter when they're using that to kill fucking kids. So I think you're missing the fucking point when human lives are at risk here, okay? They're talking about raising the age for having, rifles in general to the age of 21. And I'm fine with that. But then people are going to argue, well, what about, people in the military? They're 18. 2 points. First one is, people in the military are fucking trained to shoot these firearms. And guess what? They don't train you on the firearm. They don't give you a fucking firearm on day one. I'm a U.S. Marine. I didn't fucking get I didn't get rounds for my M16. I got an M16 pretty much immediately. But you don't get any kind of fucking rounds for that until the fucking third phase in boot camp, okay? When they make sure you're not a fucking crazy asshole. They make sure that you are mentally fit to actually handle a goddamn weapon. And second of all, I have no single fucking problem with raising the age to being in the military to the age of 21. I don't. Not at all, because I think that a lot of people, they join the military too fucking young, and they don't know your brains aren't developed as much as as an adult. You're easily impressionable, like most people are. And I think most people are just missing the point because they just want to have their firearms. But in America, you can get these firearms with no fucking training in little to no background checks. And it's becoming a serious fucking issue that needs to be stopped at this point in time. It should have been stopped a long time ago. I wasn't on board a while back, but given all the shit that keeps happening in America, like I said, 11 just fucking in one weekend that nobody heard about. Why are we still accepting the fact that this is still happening? Anyway, I've been talking for a while. Y'all go.
No.
There was a mass shooting at a hospital today. I think it was what you posted, right? Wasn't there a shooting at a hospital?
Yeah.
But yeah, when they first released the timeline to say how shit went down, it was the shit they posted was just fucking confusing because at first it said that they had apprehended the guy and they had him down, but then 15 minutes later, Border Patrol busted in and fucking killed him. I was like, wait, so they killed him while they had him detained? But all this shit didn't make any kind of fucking sense. But it's really sad because I know Texas is a carry state. You can carry your gun or whatever.
Sorry, it's an open carry state. Are you talking about
open carry?
Carry? And I'll get into open carry in a minute, but go ahead.
just the fact that like every day it seems like stories keep changing, like the protocol is different, and like who did what, like it's just, and I like didn't the police department like pull away from the investigation too? Like they kind of was like, oh, we're not gonna help out with the investigation anymore.
Yeah, so the I forget the guy's fucking name, but he basically just got they had to cover up his swearing in. I forget. Give me a second. Keep talking, and I'll give you better information.
But yeah, just like I think today there's when they released how like the guy released like he shot over 300 fucking rounds in this whole fucking 77 minutes, and it's crazy because they're when I mentioned how like there's one kid who there was kids that had called 911 like telling them what was going on, like the police didn't do anything.
More than one.
Yeah, more than one. I think it was like 3 kids called 911. Oh no, 2 kids, at least 2 kids called 911. One called back and was like, "Hey, we need help. Please come help us." But then I know Prodigy posted this in the chat saying like there was one kid who took some fucking shit out of a goddamn movie, smeared themselves with blood and played dead so that the fucking killer wouldn't fucking attack them. It's like what fucking kid has to use that strategy in their fucking life? Like I don't think I would even come up with that in a fucking like as a last resort. Like this little kid fucking took some shit from fucking cartoons maybe and played it out in fucking real life. It's just fucking nuts.
Yeah, so it's the police chief, and this is the crazy part. This is the covering up and like getting your fucking story straight. This is the shit that I can't stand about some police departments because it happens far too fucking frequently where they have to get their fucking story straight. And I can't fucking stand this shit. So the guy's name is Pete Arredondo, and he was the incident commander during the school shooting. He's the guy who told them not to go in because he thought it was a barricade situation. And he got sworn in secretly, I think it was this morning, or maybe even the day before. It was on Tuesday, so yesterday. Because he's supposed to be sworn in the day before on Monday, but they thought that the timing wasn't right. It's because the timing wasn't right because he's the fucking guy that caused this shit. And they still fucking sworn him in through the city council on Tuesday and not in public. And it's like, and he's also the same guy who is dodging questions from these other law enforcement agencies that are trying to figure out what the fuck happened because they keep changing their fucking stories.
Let me just get one quick point. I think you guys did a great job in terms of like setting the stage and telling a whole bunch of facts. The other thing though is the parents were hearing gunshots, some of them getting phone calls from their kids, knowing that their kids were being shot and were trying to enter the building to save their children. And they were apprehended, handcuffed, physically blocked, everything to prevent parents from saving their elementary school kids' lives while the folks who were supposed to protect and serve sat there. So I'm only talking about this, the officers that were there for this particular shooting. I want to be really clear on that. But it's an egregious situation. It's a national embarrassment. It's another fucking tragedy. It's just as bad as Sandy Hook, which again, nothing really changed after that. So here we are again. But if it doesn't fucking boil your blood, then you don't have a fucking soul. To me, like nobody should want to see second graders, third graders, fourth graders lose their lives over a maniac. And I want to be really clear: the shooter pulled the trigger, but obviously you expect and you're supposed to believe that that person will be dealt with in a timelier manner than, what did you say, Kronos? 77 minutes.
And listen, so Papa Bear, I'm not gonna attack you, obviously, but you asked what the Second Amendment says, and I can read it verbatim. Okay, it says it's very short actually. A lot of people that are gun people, which I still am a firearm person. Like I think you have a right to defend yourself. But the Second Amendment literally says a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And I totally understand that. However, we all know that there are people that we do not accept in society should not own firearms. We have already, if you want to stick straight to the Second Amendment and that is your be all end all by that there's a couple of sentences. I think it's all like one long run on sentence, isn't it? It's a run on sentence. If you want to say that, then every single felon should still be able to own a firearm. If you just kick your wife's ass, you still own a firearm. If you shot somebody, you go to jail and you get out. If you didn't kill them, you still be able to own a firearm. That's what the Second Amendment says, right? Because it leaves out a whole bunch of shit because it doesn't give you the whole fucking story. And I think that we need to be able to really have some common sense shit on here. Because if somebody literally commits acts of violence in their daily fucking life, they should not be able to own a firearm. And I don't know why that is controversial in 2022. This, to me, it's common sense. Not everybody in America should own a gun. And we're paying the consequences to that with fucking dividends. I mean, people want to say, oh, well, legal gun owners are being, punished for this. But the last two people that committed these atrocious acts in schools were legal gun owners. There were legal gun owners. Do you not see the problem here? Like, seriously, like, they passed a background check that was non-existent. They were underage. They said they were good to go. There are holes here that need to be fucking filled. And we're paying for it literally with children.
Can I get one quick thing in? When I have a fucking head cold and I go over to Walgreens or Target or whatever the fuck, I got to show my goddamn ID to get the good kind of Sudafed, good kind of Claritin or whatever. I got to go into a fucking database and shit. It's fucking terrible. I can't even buy more than one goddamn box.
Yeah, I was
want
gonna say,
you
you
to
can't even buy
it
two.
pisses me off every time it's allergy season. And it's May and I'm down here in Chula Vista and there's fucking flowers and shit and pollen all high and shit. It's all...
Hey, that applies to a NyQuil too.
Yeah, NyQuil. I mean, all the stuff that's like literally just over the fucking counter, like medication and shit. I got to show my ID. I can't buy more than one. You can't even get the Costco size and shit. It's fucking frustrating. I would expect much more judicious regulation when it comes to firearms and bullets than Sudafed. Because I'm not selling meth. I'm not making meth. I'm not a fucking chemist. I'm not Walter Wright or anything like that from Breaking Bad. I just want to fucking not have the fucking sniffles and shit. That's all I goddamn want. But I got to show my ID every fucking time. I got to have Mishka buy my shit. I got to fucking ask my mama to buy me some fucking Sudafed because I've already hit my maximum from last week. It's fucking sad. I want to goddamn be able to get some fucking cold medicine without fucking doing the ID like the old days. You know what I mean? Can't do that shit. So I will just say this for me, Prodigy, I'm going to say I do want tighter fucking controls. I do see the fucking loopholes that Kronos was alluding to. I don't want dead fucking kids. And I will go here. Anybody who's also claiming to be pro-life and okay with this many dead children, you got to get smooth the fuck out of my face. Sorry.
Yeah, it's...
Okay, what's something to say?
No, I mean, you can go
I was
ahead
gonna say something, but I fucking forgot. I forgot what I was gonna say.
I don't understand. So this is the problem with me. So I used to be, obviously I'm still pro firearms. But the problem with me is that I was missing like a lot of information because there's other countries in the world that have. This is what me and Sister kind of we had it back and forth. It wasn't an argument, but it was a back and forth about like who has the most firearms. Like what country has the highest amount of like firearms per capita? Or I'm sorry, I already fucked it up. The most amount of people that own firearms per capita. And I don't think that it's America, because there's other countries out there where citizens that own more, that per citizen own more firearms, but not firearms per capita. Because if you talk about firearms per capita, there's more guns in America than people. And that's a fact. But if you talk about like an actual per citizen, do you own at least a firearm? Other countries have us beat, but I'm trying to find the actual numbers. But there was a few that stood out to me, and it was Switzerland and Israel, because you see them open carrying all the time. And so I was like, how the fuck is it that in Israel and Switzerland, and there's a few other countries as well, where they have like open carry all the time, They all have like they show their firearms. They almost every single citizen has at least one firearm. How is it possible they don't have mass shootings? So I looked it up, and the fact is that all these other fucking countries that have this, that have these high firearm usages, they have way stricter gun laws than we do. Way fucking stricter. Switzerland, it's super strict. It's super stringent. Like you have to have all kinds of fucking training, and also both Israel and I think Switzerland, they both have mandatory civil service. So that basically makes it way easier for anybody else to own a firearm because you get trained on it if you have civil service. Like you have to join the military. I think it's mandatory military service, but you get trained on how to use a firearm from the get-go. And in Switzerland, and I think even in Israel, at least in Switzerland, when you open carry, you cannot carry ammunition.
Ammo, yeah.
And when you go to Israel, you can't own more than 50 rounds.
Can I say one quick thing? And because some data folks would probably have an issue with this. You also have to remember, America has over 330 million people. We're the third largest country by population on the planet, right behind China and India, who have over 1 billion people each. When you compare the United States, just from a size standpoint, to Israel or Switzerland, that's like comparing the entire U.S. to a place like Connecticut almost, in terms of population to population.
One little fucking city.
It's tiny as fuck.
Yeah, and so when I say, so if you look up just the straight numbers of like I'll take Switzerland because I looked up the numbers recently. So they have about 8 million people, I think, in Switzerland, but there's 2 million firearms. But then when you look at the United States, there's like 330 million people, but there's like 360 million firearms. So when you look at that, you're just like, oh, well, obviously most Americans have firearms, right? No. No. Because the problem is that you have people that are gun hoarders. And I'm not gonna shit on them, but there's people out there that I know people that have like over 100 guns. And so one person that has over 100 guns, that throws all your fucking stats off when you talk about who owns guns in America. All right? Because if one person owns 110 guns and the person next door owns 0, guess what? That person still accounts for basically 110 people. When you talk about guns per capita. And that's what throws everything fucking off. But in Switzerland, it's different, obviously, because they don't own as many guns because it's literally fucking illegal. And the problem that I have, like, don't get me wrong, you can have a bunch of guns, but then people, like, somebody commented today on like it's somebody it's actually a good friend of mine. We served together, but he said what you have to worry about are the assholes that steal guns from people. And, you don't have to worry about legal gun owners. But also, I already talked about earlier, legal gun owners have shut up schools. All right? That's a problem. Yeah. Please address that first. Then come back to me. Second of all, if you want to talk about assholes stealing your guns, tell me how hard it is to secure one gun compared to 300 guns that you have. If a person comes into your house and robs you, and you're assuming that you can just stave off everybody with your 300 guns. Like, you can have 300 guns, but guess what? You can only shoot 2 max. If you can shoot 3 guns at one time, I'd be fucking impressed.
You got a fucking dick to just swing and just...
You could still be a target that somebody can rob you and fucking get your entire gun hoard collection and then distribute it to some illegal means. But nobody
like
thinks
a group
about
of
that
people
when they
can
have
fucking rob
hundreds
you.
of guns.
Yeah.
I just envisioned Zorro from One Piece because he used to hold the one sword in his fucking mouth and he had the 2 swords in his hand or whatever. You put the gun in your mouth and pull the I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was just thinking, like, people always bring up, like, criminals, like, oh, if you ban guns, the drug dealers and such, they still got guns. They're not going to follow the fucking law. Well, you know what? Drug dealers aren't fucking shooting up schools. Like, I mean, they'll shoot up a neighborhood and there might be an innocent kid, but they're not out there fucking killing kids on fucking purpose.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be clear. I don't want anybody getting shot.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Here. I don't want anybody fucking killed.
Yeah.
But like the whole fucking theory about like drug dealers and blah blah.
And most I will say, not every drug dealer is shooting up anything. I mean, you might have just Eddie Munson just trying to sell Special K to Chrissy.
Well, this is the hold on, real quick. Like, if you think that gun laws don't work, then why do you care about new ones?
There you go.
I was watching this the Daily Show did a thing about Switzerland's gun laws, and like they literally have like imagine like a beer fest. Like you go to a beer fest, you have a bunch of beers and blah blah. They have something similar with guns, but like it's a controlled environment. Like people know how to use the weapons. There's like kids using guns, but like everything's controlled. Everybody's certified. Like everybody's kind of walking around carrying ammo. Like there's even like a scene where like a
They're not
baby
carrying-
is in a stroller. And there's
they're
like a
not
fucking
carrying
gun
ammo.
underneath it.
They don't.
Well, yeah,
they
that's
don't
what I was gonna
carry
say.
ammo.
They're
They
carrying
carry
ammo.
firearms. They don't carry ammo.
No, yeah, they carry firearms. No one's carrying ammo, but like literally everybody's having a good fucking time. Like people are they treating guns like guns should be treating. They're a fucking deadly weapon. They can take somebody's life. Like you don't fuck around with guns. Like they really respect guns in Switzerland, and I feel like in America we need to look at other countries and see how they're doing shit. Like we can't keep saying like, oh, we're better than this country, we're better than that country. Like America, we're a fucking melting pot, and that used to be what's so great about America. We're a melting pot. We can take all these different cultures and bring it all together, and the shit will work. And I feel like that's something that we need to really get into. We should look at other countries, see what's working, take pieces from here and there, and just make our fucking country better. I mean, at least that's always been my ideal on how things should work here in America, instead of just, oh, America's the supreme, we're the number one force, and we can't do any wrong. Because other countries looking at America like, yo, y'all guys had another fucking mass killing. Like, god damn, like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Dude, there's some
So,
people who don't want to
Blue-
even like from just a tourist standpoint. They're afraid to come here. Like
Yeah,
you know,
right?
you know how you see that shit
Or a
on
flight
the
risk.
Discovery Channel where you look at Australia and you're like, damn, they got a whole lot of poisonous snakes and spiders and shit. I don't know if I want to go there. They're like that with America sometimes. You know,
So,
like, I don't want
Blue-
to visit.
Blue, you're talking about like observing other countries and see what they do to make America great again?
Shit.
Man, America was never fucking great. It depends on the color of your
I need
skin.
clarification.
All I'm saying is just let Chrissy get her special K without her fucking eyeballs popping out. That's what I want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
No,
what I
but
want for
somebody
this guy.
somebody else needed her for something else.
Dude,
so.
I think
I know what I was gonna say. With,
think she
with
did
the
wanna fuck
whole
Eddie. I'm sorry.
with the Texas shooting, the one thing that kind of pissed me off was that, like, I don't even know why this fucking organization had to say any goddamn thing,
Oh,
but
who?
like ISIS basically had
Holy
posted
shit, are
up
you
something on
kidding me?
Twitter. Yeah, they posted something on Twitter like, oh, you know, in light of the situation going on and blah blah blah,
Holy
we're not
shit.
going to be patrolling this area. It's like, are you fucking serious? Like, there's people who lost their goddamn kids, and you're talking about like, oh, we're not going to go in there and fucking raid people and send them back over the fucking border.
Wait,
like,
wait, the terrorist organization released a
No,
statement
no.
about
ICE,
Uvalde, Texas?
ICE. No, the immigration company.
Oh, ICE, not
Not
ISIS.
ISIS.
Okay, I'm
ICE.
sorry.
I
was
mean,
like,
ICE,
wait, what?
ISIS, they're fucking damn near the
Blue
goddamn same
100%
thing.
said you 100% said ISIS.
I did say ISIS.
I'm just saying.
I did say ISIS, but I meant
Yo.
ICE.
Just talking about Al
mean-
Qaeda or
Yeah, I was like, wait. No, that-
But no, actually, what the fuck? Like, ICE is the company that take people out of America and stuff like that. So you just add an extra E or a Y or some shit, and you got ISIS.
Blue? Hold on, real quick. How do you spell ICE?
ICE.
How do you spell ISIS?
ICY? No, isn't it ICEE? No, that's
oh,
IC.
man, what's going on in the chat? The chat got to be
Oh,
exploded.
hold up.
I'm pretty sure Papa Bear might have just blown a fucking blood vessel. So yeah, me as well. It's ISIS.
Okay, yeah. I meant to say ICE, ICE, the immigration company of importing people back to their country.
God damn. This is a dang conversation.
I've been drinking, y'all. Shit.
I
But
mean,
no, like,
I'm
yeah,
drinking
but-
too, but I was in the military, so I'll let it slide.
It's all good. It's all good. Oh,
But no,
okay,
like,
you've
yeah,
been trying
but
to get-
seriously, like, the fact that they tweeted out or posted some shit like that, and like they're saying like they were gonna fucking export people and shit like that. It's like, come on, man, like read the fucking room. Like, you don't need to say shit. Like, just shut up, hold off, whatever. But like, yeah, because it's
And because
'cause
these were a lot of them were brown
oh yeah, I
Latino
think the
children.
the
Like,
city itself, I think their population, I think it's 74% is of Mexican descent,
Yep.
which is a lot, but they're close to the border, which is kind of fucked up too. That's why when I looked it up,
Blues in
They
rare
were-
form
No,
tonight.
Papa Bear is he's kind of clowning. He said icy, and he said he's headed to 7-Eleven.
Get that slurp.
But it's like, oh, I need one of those. Let me get the cool blue and a little bit of strawberry mixed together.
No, you gotta get
But no,
the
kind of
Coca-Cola
like
flavor.
when it's all went down, like all the shit kept leaking out. It made me think of what happened in Buffalo, because like homeboy was racist. Like he purposely target a store that mainly black people were at. So I was like, shit, I wonder if this was racially motivated, because you have the city where like most of the population are Mexican, but then the guy himself, I believe, was Mexican, right? Or
Well,
was Latin descent.
the thing I was going to say is for Buffalo, we literally have in his own words exactly what he wanted to do, and he wrote on his fucking firearm exactly who he wanted to kill. I don't know if we have that in this situation yet. Maybe I missed it, but
Yeah, in
Well, I
this
think-
situation, they're trying to say the killer was trans. And I was like, that doesn't seem.
wait, he's trans? What?
Yeah,
that's
you
not-
haven't seen. There's a picture. I guess
Photoshop?
someone's.
It's not true though. So can we not?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that
know,
was-
but like I said, I was trying to say they're trying to push the false narrative
Yeah,
that
okay,
this was a
sorry.
trans person that committed the killing. But if you look at the picture, two of the pictures that are melded together are the same picture, and apparently they're of the different person. So, but
Yeah.
they're pushing this as if this is some trans person doing this. So.
Oh, go ahead.
All right, so I'm going to talk about something that's kind of uncomfortable. And this is about American society and our current gun culture. And honestly, I'm going to be kind of critical about some shit, and it's going to piss some people off. Honestly, I don't give a fuck. I think that one of the problems that we have in America is that we have, especially males, we have, well, at least masculine presenting males, whatever. We have really fetishized.
Penis owning people?
Yeah, like we have really fetishized like firearms in general, and like this whole military lifestyle, and this whole like, I forget the fucking name for it. I used to use it back in the day, like Gyarados and fucking, just like these tactical people, you know, making it seem like a firearm, it totally makes you like a man. You know, it makes you like so fucking masculine, and it makes you like the shit, and like no matter what, you take it from me, and you know all this fucking take it from my cold dead hands, and I think it's like it's a lot of bullshit, and I think some of these young kids are really buying into this bullshit, and our whole society. I'm not even just blaming it on a particular like industry, but our whole society is like pushing this whole bullshit narrative of like how firearms make you so fucking masculine. And you see people that are comfortable with just going to like a 7-Eleven, like in like full kit. What I mean by kit is in like camo, fucking bulletproof fucking vest, a fucking AR on your back, a fucking whatever kind of sidearm you want, you know, an M9, whatever, a helmet, all this shit, just to fucking go to like a grocery store. And these people that do that are going to grocery stores in like the safest possible places in America. These are the most cowardly fucking people that I have seen in my entire goddamn life. And these are the people that are part of the problem, is that you have replaced what it is to be masculine with a piece of, you know, technology that is meant to like harm things. And I think that our society needs to like kind of reverse course on this. Like that's not, to me, like don't get me wrong, I love shooting. Shooting is fucking fun. But if I ever feel the need to like take a gun to like a fucking grocery store in my neighborhood, first of all, I should probably fucking move. You know what I mean? It's like, why do I feel the need to take a firearm like that in like a store? You know, like you should feel safe in your neighborhood. And if you don't, you're living in a fucked up place, and like definitely change that. I think that we have just accepted the fact that that people are can just walk around with firearms like they're in the fucking special forces everywhere. Like this is fucking it's not normal. People in special forces, guess what? When they're done doing their special forces shit, they take all their shit off and they get comfortable as fuck at home. They're not out there fucking going to Safeway with their fucking full kit on. You know, it's not a manly thing to do. Like if you feel that scared of life, then you need to figure out what the fuck is wrong with your life, and feel more comfortable in your daily life. You know, the firearm is not a solution to your actual fucking safety.
Can I get one quick thing in? It's little dick energy. It just is.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're trying to overcompensate for. It's always weird. When I see it, I'm like, okay, maybe this isn't the safe way time for grocery shopping or going to Starbucks or whatever for me, because I certainly am much more on edge when I see it or whatever. But I always think like someone in a giant literal monster truck, you know, with wheels 8 feet tall. It's some little dick energy to me. But go ahead.
Also, I think to add to Prodigy's like social fear, especially if these people tend to be white males, and when you see that, it's what's sad. I was actually talking to someone about this, is that the fact that you see someone with a lot of American flags on, either shirt, hat, jacket, like before that would used to be like, you know, all about American pride, but now they're like red flags. Now it's like, okay,
It's true.
this is someone that's probably going to start either yelling at me or people that look like me, or people that are a shade lighter than me, that are brown, not maybe not as dark. They're probably going to go off on these people, or worse, they're just going to start like physical violence.
Or they could be Star Wars fans.
No, because Star Wars fans actually wear Star Wars stuff. They don't wear other stuff. You already know, and they they would have singled you out.
Piggybacking on what Chrono said, like, yeah, like shooting a gun is fun, but it's also scary as fuck. Like, if you can go to like when we went to for my bachelor party, we went to a gun range. Like, yeah, we got guns, we shot them. It was fun as fuck, but it's like you're literally have a weapon in your hand that can kill any of your friends if you're not handling that thing right. Even if the bullet isn't like loaded right. Like, it made me think of like every time I shoot a gun, I always think of fucking Brendan Lee. I'm like, okay, this gun had a fucking sharpnel in the middle, and they shot off a fucking blank, but that blank shot off the fucking. At least this was a theory back in the day, was that there was shrapnel inside of the fucking gun, and that's the reason. That's what killed them. And it's like, even if this gun there's no bullet in it, just think it's still like, I just always handle that thing like with deadly weapon. There's no bullets in it. I still assume that this thing can fucking kill somebody. Like, it could. At least for me, like if it failed and dropped, like, I don't know, there'd be a magic bullet or some shit in there. There'd be one left in the chamber or some shit.
No,
like, I always treated a fucking gun like it would kill somebody, even if there was no fucking ammo in there.
Yeah,
And I feel like, you know,
I do
a
the
lot of
same
people
thing.
don't treat the same thing. Don't do the same thing.
If the gun jams, I feel the same way, because I'm like, oh shit.
Oh yeah. Oh, when the gun jams, I'm like, yo, I'm putting this down.
I put the
Call
gun
fucking-
down. Yeah, I put the gun down and I wait for, because usually an attendant comes by and they unjam the gun for me, because I know if I do it, I'm probably gonna fuck up and shoot either myself or someone else. So I'm like, I'm gonna put it down. Usually someone comes over, helps me unjam the gun. Usually there's people that work there. There's also those other people like, oh, you gun jam. They're like the next one over. They'll try to come over. Usually the people that work there, though, they come over, unjam the gun, and then, or they replace the gun. I've had it to where the gun jammed and they gave me a different weapon.
Yeah, there are two really important things that actually maybe even three that I'll bring up. Yeah, I mean, Blue, actually both of you just brought up like one of the main things about like firearm safety is like treat every firearm as if it was loaded, which is very important. Like, you need to have a healthy respect for firearms. You know, if you were actually trained properly on firearms, you would feel more comfortable around them, with like, especially with like jams and shit like that, and like understanding like how to actually use them. Actual firearm training does help with that. But again, I'm going to go back to the people that did these latest two mass shootings, and most gun owners in America, they are not properly trained on how to handle firearms. They're not. Like, I've seen like people in like Walmarts walking around with like AR-15s on their backs with a magazine inserted. I'm just like, what the fuck are you like? If it's on your back, why the fuck did you bring it? You know how hard it is to fucking get a rifle off your back to get ready to shoot it? It's hard as, like, by the time, if you need it and it's on your back, like, you're already fucked. You're not ready to go. the thing in your back is now a prop, but it's a loaded, deadly prop that you don't know how to properly fucking use. Because you think that I have this thing on me, it's on my back, I look scary, and it's loaded, but it's not. It's a liability to everybody around you, including yourself. And I think that we need to get to a point to where if you're going to own a firearm, you need to have, first of all, you need a serious background check, not just a bullshit background check. And you need to be actually fucking trained on what you're using, whether it's a handgun, a shotgun, a fucking rifle. You need to understand like what these things can do, how to properly clear a jam, how to, just basic firearm safety and how to use it. But a lot of people, they don't know, at all. And we're seeing the consequences of that now. And this is just, I'm even going beyond the illegal firearm thing. Because people can argue, oh, well, there's so many illegal firearms till you're blue in the fucking face. I mean, you can. Yeah, don't get me wrong. They're not trained either. But if you're going to talk about, don't worry about legal gun owners, when legal gun owners are also a fucking liability and you don't want to admit that, then you're missing the part of the conversation here. And I think we need to focus more on that. And don't get me wrong, let's 100% clean up the illegal firearms things too. But if you're not willing to like understand why most illegal firearms are out there and why they need them, like do some research on that. 'Cause I think you'd be fucking surprised. I think you'd be surprised. Let me ask you this. If you live in a neighborhood that is full of violence, would you feel more comfortable going outside with a firearm or without a firearm? It's a simple question, right? And if you're not willing to make that neighborhood safer through tax dollars, then you're not really willing to really address the issue of illegal firearms.
Well, the
You
only
just
problem
not.
with that is the only problem with that is that some people just don't have control of where they live at and
Well, yeah,
how their tax dollars are spent.
that's totally true. But like, you don't have control where you live, but also we have control of like where tax dollars go in neighborhoods. Like
We should.
we definitely
We should, yeah.
And we have seen that places where there is high gun violence and high violence in general, there are places that are red line where they were literally taking money out of those communities through tax dollars and not investing them back in the community. They took them out of the communities and put them in different communities, and they definitely suppressed tax dollars going into the community to make them better. And they wonder why there's high violence and it's also like, there are places where we know there's going to be violence because we just haven't invested in those communities. But people that are on this other side of the illegal gun fucking argument, they don't want to actually help those communities help themselves. They don't want to invest in those communities to become actually safer. They want to say, oh, well, we'll just give 40% of the tax dollars to the police departments. But police departments, they rarely stop crimes, and this is a fact. I'm not being a dick about this, but it's a fact. They can respond to crimes, but actually stopping crimes in these neighborhoods, like it's not going to happen. It's not.
About social conditions. I just really want to quickly say one of the other factors that hasn't been brought up, at least for me, and we don't have time to go too deep into this, but you also have the whole aspect of lobbying. And what I mean by that is a lot of politicians, right and left, are going to do exactly what their big donors are telling them to do. And so I think most people believe in common sense gun laws. You're not going to see that for a very long time, despite tragedy after fucking tragedy. The politicians are in the pocket of not just NRA, but a whole bunch of big corporations that have a vested financial interests in keeping the laws loosey-goosey like they are fucking now. And they don't give a single solitary shit about dead kids at all.
Nope.
And so if you don't believe me, again, rewind the fucking tape to Sandy Hook and all the outrage and all the tears and all the other stuff, just like we're seeing today. And nothing got changed legally. And nothing is, I'm going to be a cynic right now. Nothing's going to get changed after this fucking tragedy either. If you, I just want to be really clear. If you really give a fucking shit, you're also going to want tighter controls on the lobbying for politicians.
Yep.
But that isn't even fucking part of the conversation that almost anybody is having. It's like, oh, we're going to have this law out of nowhere. No, you're fucking not. It has to have political will. It has to have backing. And you don't even have a third of the fucking votes because of lobbying. And I know that nobody wants to fucking hear that. Right, left, center, nobody wants to fucking hear that. But unless you're willing to have that fucking conversation about corporate interests, you're going to see another tragedy tomorrow.
For reals. So there was somebody had posted up that so we all know the story about Emmett Till. He was a young kid who, was accused of inappropriate touch of a white woman, and
Lies,
basically lies to this day. She's still fucking.
Wait,
Anyway.
hold up. It wasn't even touching. It was him whistling at her.
Oh, that's what. Yes. Okay. Yes. I'm confused with another kid, but yeah, like they beat him, strung him up, threw him in a fucking lake, and such. But his mom, for his funeral, she had an open casket because she wanted to see what they did to her baby. Because, I mean,
She
you
wanted
can
the
look
world
up
to
images,
see.
and she wanted the world to see, and this had a huge impact on the civil rights movement. And somebody had posted up like one of these parents should show a picture of their baby, because that's where these kids were. They were fucking babies. They weren't even 10. Like that's how young they were. But like somebody should post up a picture, video, such and such to show like what happened to their kid. But in America, everything's fucking censored here.
Yeah, I was going to
so
say
this
corporate
shit probably would never
censorship is
happen.
going to prevent that from going viral.
But then again, we're in an internet age, so like you can. I mean, you could watch the video of the fucking guy who shot up the fucking the grocery store in Buffalo. Like the shit was on fucking Twitch. I mean, you posted on Twitch. That shit was you can go other places to find it. But yeah, somebody had mentioned that how like maybe that will make a change. Like you get to see like what this violence is doing to people. But
the people who actually make the laws don't give a fucking shit about a viral
so
video.
that was another point
just
somebody
to
had.
say it.
Yeah. There was another point that somebody else had pointed out is that like the only way to make a change in America is to kind of rally up. Like this is kind of a shitty analogy to use, but this is what the person has said. Basically, like for example, with abortion, every fucking abortion clinic, there was a fucking group out there saying like, "Oh, you're the devil. You should pro-life and blah 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 blah." Like there should be similar shit like that at like fucking gun shows, like guns take life. I mean, it's something it's something that's going to be fucking hard to do. But like people who were against fucking abortions, they did it. They were at fucking abortion clinics. Oh, go ahead, Prodigy.
Sorry, and I don't know if me and Kronos are going to be on the same side, but just to clarify, and I didn't get a chance to say this because we were off for a couple weeks. The terrorists won on the abortion issue. And what I mean by fucking terrorists, I'm using that word
that's what I'm saying.
directly. But hold on, what I'm really trying to say is, it wasn't just, they're going to protest outside and picket with a nice little sign and shame on you teenage
violent.
girl for having it. No. They killed doctors. They killed young women who did it. They killed nurses. They bombed buildings. Like, I don't know why that isn't part of the fucking national collective history, but the killing of Planned Parenthood and abortion providers and OBGYNs and nurses and all of that, that's a part of the history. Literal terrorism was one of the effective methods for trying to prevent it, along with the whole, some protests, and along with the changing of the laws over time, and 12 weeks to 6 weeks, and all of that other stuff. But the bombings, that happened all throughout our lifetime. We're all 40 plus years old. That happened in the 80s. That happened in the 90s. That happened in the early aughts. That happened this decade. It's always been a part of it. Now, you don't always hear about it, just like how Kronos was talking about how there was 11 mass shootings and whatnot. It doesn't always make national news, but the actual terrorism associated with pro-lifers has always been prevalent. And I want to be very fucking clear on that. Not fucking little signs and shit, bombing and killing of docs.
Yeah. But they kind of were a fucking powerhouse though, because I mean, Roe versus Wade is going to be fucking overturned. So it's like, even though they did some bad shit, I mean, the shit's worked. which is kind of
mean,
sad.
It likely will be. I have, even if it does get overturned, at least at this point, they're going to say it's up to the states. They're not saying it's going to be federally illegal at this point, at least what that one leaked document said. So I have some hope, but it's still, it's pretty shitty. It's definitely a step backwards. I mean, if you want to look at traditionally in America, the things that have definitely moved forward social issues is basically being clowned by the European Union and Europe in general. The vast majority of social issues here in America have been really addressed after Europe was like, yo, what the fuck, America? Like, seriously, that's where it came. Like, when it comes to like fucking slavery, civil rights after slavery, the women's rights movements, there's other movements too, where it's just like, Europe was like, yo, we've had this for a while. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing? And the only thing that I have a problem with now, which is a little bit different, is that, you know, at least with like civil rights things for like, you know, quote unquote minorities here in America. I mean, this is what I can't stand about even saying minorities, is because you have these people here in America that are talking about, you know, the white race and blah, 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 blah. I think that the last thing that I saw was like, what Europeans are like 10% of the people in the fucking world. 10% of people in the fucking world. And the vast majority of them act like they are just the fucking shit, as if they're the top dogs, and they're like they've done like all these. They've done some good things in the world, but you're 10% of the population of Earth, and a lot of shit that y'all did was stolen shit. You know, and when it comes to like these civil rights things and like just like general human decency, in America, we've been like so far behind the ball because we're waiting for, you know, the other white people to say it's okay. But we can definitely like shirk that shit, especially when it comes to the, you know, the firearm shit. Like, what the fuck? The vast majority of Europe, almost all of Europe, is way ahead of us. Way ahead of us on this shit.
Same with Asia.
Yeah, same with the most of the fucking world is way ahead of us on this shit. But for some reason, people just want to fucking put their, you know, their tiki torches down and be like, we need our firearms. It's like, but really? Do you really need all those fucking firearms? Do you really need to see all these fucking mass shootings happening almost on a daily basis to wake up and be like, hey, we have a problem that the rest of the quote unquote first world does not have a problem with, and we're just going to keep accepting it? Like, why don't we consider taking some of these precautions when it comes to firearms? And I'm not saying like disarm every single goddamn American. I'm just saying, hey, maybe check if the person that's getting a fucking firearm isn't fucking crazy. Is that too much to ask in 2022?
Or violent. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, like, what the fuck? Like, this doesn't seem like a huge fucking, you know, bridge to span. And why can an 18-year-old buy 2 AR-15s and 1,500 rounds of ammunition on his birthday?
And
does that make any fucking sense to you? And before anybody says, this is what I was thinking, like, just in my head. I'm thinking about like just basic shit, like motorcycles. Did you know in Europe, if you want to buy a motorcycle as a young person, you can't just buy a fucking liter bike? You can't buy a motorcycle that goes like 150 fucking miles per hour at 18 years old or 16 years old, whatever the fuck. They make you buy a smaller bike and then you work your way up.
That's sensible.
That's sensible. Like, but in America, a fucking 16-year-old can get a Bugatti. Like, what the fuck are you? It is so dumb. And yeah, you can just scream freedom all you want, but this is freedom coming at the extreme end is children's deaths. And if you don't understand that, hey, maybe we shouldn't do this to save some lives. To me, lives are at the very top of like shit that's important, right? Our human lives. But for some reason, somebody just thinks that, oh, well, you know, they're just the illegal gun owners, even though there's legal gun owners that are killing people and killing kids. And they don't want to lump them in. They're just so unreasonable with that shit because they're scared that their guns are going to get taken. It's like, hey, I'm not, unless you're, you know, commit domestic, maybe you have committed domestic violence and that's your problem. and that you're scared that you're going to get your guns taken away. But guess what? If you're one of those people, I don't have a fucking problem if the government takes the guns away from you. If you're a person with a violent background, I don't think you should have a gun. I really don't.
We got
I'm
a
gonna say, like,
Go ahead.
Why don't you bust out your list?
Jumping on
and-
other legal people who had like
What
who were
list?
legally gun holders, like the guy that in Vegas, the guy who was like up in the fucking building and started shooting at a fucking crowd down on the ground. Like,
Yeah, that was
wasn't
a
he
country
like a legal
concert.
gunner? Yeah, but yeah, it's a country concert. That damn.
Sorry,
But no,
what
it just
oh, sorry.
it's just crazy. Like, yeah, like it's we want change. How do we get that change? And it's really hard because fucking giant corporations got their hand in the fucking pockets of fucking government officials, and it's like all we can do is thoughts and prayers because it's hard to figure out what the fuck we can do to make change. And like the person I was watching had mentioned, like, you know, we just got to band together. People got to put their money in. We got to basically create our own fucking like corporation to be able to overturn. Because I mean, right now, at least with abortions, the churches have that shit fucking locked. Like, how do you fucking go against a goddamn religion? It's just fucking it's. I feel like there's no answer to the problem, to be honest. Like, we can say like this is how it should be. There's countries that are doing this way, but it's like there's evil in the country that's just keeping us where we fucking are, and it's hard to say that if we're ever gonna see fucking change.
I know this sounds ugly as fuck. I honestly think that a certain really disgusting part of American culture is fascinated with death, and we put our head in the sand on it. I mean, really the biggest lesson for me over the last two years, where we saw 1 million+ Americans die, which I never am going to get over.
Yeah, people didn't give a fuck.
People didn't give a single solitary shit, barely any lip service. At first, you know, a little lip service of, oh, you know, we got courageous nurses and doctors and let's, you know, sing and chant and clap our hands for them. But really and truly, most 90% plus said, nah, fuck them. They really
Dude,
did.
I was at Target and I experienced my first fucking Karen, or Ken. Is it Ken or Kyle? I think Kyle's the male version of Karen. But yeah, I was wearing a mask, and dude told me like, "Hey, those things don't work," and I was like, "Condoms? They say condoms work, but here we both are. I mean, you weren't fucking wanted." But like, it's like I wanted space because the dude was fucking close as fuck to me. I'm like, "Hey, can you give me some space?" So I have my son. My son, less than 2 years old. He's a little bit over 1, and he doesn't have a mask. And I wanted to protect him. Dude got up in his fucking fields, was like, "Hey, mask don't work. Why don't you?" His daughter, he was with his fucking teenage daughter. Daughter was like, "Oh, why don't you move up forward?" It's like, yo, motherfucker, I was here first for one thing, but then he made the whole comment about the mask, and it was I had in my back of my mind of what I would say when I crossed one of these people, and it's like, okay, I said what I need to say, but this motherfucker apparently still believed that he's the more on the right. I'm like, okay, well, you just continue being a sheep and believe what you want to believe, and I believe what I want to believe. And I posted this in the chat, and like, I think it was Kronos was like, you should have just told me you had COVID. I was like, fuck, now I have a new excuse when somebody tells me like mask don't work. It's like, oh yeah,
Let me sneeze
I know
on
mask
you.
don't work, but I have COVID. So I'm just trying to protect people who believe that. I don't know. I'm still working on lines, but like, yeah, like COVID is like a perfect example how like people don't give a fuck about the people. They just gonna believe what they want to believe. They're gonna follow some ideology that's out there and just continue to following that. And it's like, it's fucking crazy, man. And then kind of going back to the gun law, it's like with the whole gun law, it's got to be universal across the whole all the fucking states. We do come across one. It just can't be like, oh, you know, California, you're 21 and over, but you go to fucking Nevada and you can be fucking 3 and get a fucking gun just because you have fingers on your goddamn hand. Like, there's got to be uniform across the state or across the country.
Don't hold your breath.
Okay. So, like I was saying, Cronus, you have a list of what you feel like the background check should be. I think you and Stitch came up with like a little impromptu, or I don't know if it's impromptu, but you had the criteria you would like to see implemented for a background check.
Yeah, I mean, there's more than a few, like, you know, common sense things that, you know, I would like to be implemented, and some of these might actually affect me because I have, I have mental health issues, but I'm not violent, so maybe it doesn't. But I definitely have a mental health issue background.
You be choking people out on the daily, don't you?
I mean, it definitely helps me. I'm just saying.
I'm not violent.
Yeah, that's consensual though. It's consensual. They agree. Once you do like the the fist bump, like they agreed. Like choking out is definitely a possibility in the situation. But yeah, I think one of the main ones is listen, if you have a domestic violence conviction in your in your background, then guess what? You gave up your rights to own a firearm. If you have a history of violence to animals, guess what? You gave up or at least you have to reapply for what you need to do. Because I mean, kids can make mistakes, but I think for kids it's a little bit different. But if you're an adult and you're still doing violence to animals, then yeah, you lost your access to firearms.
If you're Amber Heard, no more firearms.
Yeah, her too.
Sorry, go ahead.
I think those are some major ones. I think we need to have actual deep background checks into people, not just some cursory. Oh, I see your name is your name and this is your birthday. No, you need to actually look at. And I think that these are very simple things that we can do right now, and I think that there should be a definite waiting period for firearms. Because if you need a firearm right now, then yeah, you can just call the fucking. If you need it right now, then you're not thinking about the reason why you need it. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that every time you need to fucking call the police or whatever, because that's another problem too that we can get into a whole other thing. If Stitch is on here, we can get into it, but yeah, there should definitely be a waiting period on getting firearms. We need to raise the actual age on getting firearms unless you have some serious fucking training, and this goes universally for any firearm, is that you need to actually be trained on the firearm that you're buying. Actually trained. Understanding that, the 4 basic things you need to know, the 4 safety rules when it comes to firearms, and actually how to use your firearm, the basic operations of your firearms. Understanding that when you shoot something, it can go through some shit, and kill something behind it. There's a whole bunch of other things that you need to know when you own a firearm. And I think that the vast majority of these gun owners, they want to say, oh, well, the Second Amendment says this. Okay, but yeah, back in the day, back in the 1700s, they had ball rounds. Those weren't going through fucking a bunch of walls. You know what I mean? We have rounds today that can go through fucking car blocks, engine blocks. Okay, that people can buy, a civilian can buy. In certain places in the country, you can buy a 50 caliber round that can go through a fucking engine block. That's to me, it seems excessive. Don't get me wrong; they're fucking cool to shoot, but I wouldn't want somebody that is not trained to just get one of those. To get a 50 caliber fucking rifle and be able to have access to that and just do whatever he wants or he or she wants. You need to be trained on what to do. And I think people, if you need to have something of that high caliber, then I'm sorry. I'm not even fucking sorry. You need to be fucking tracked for that caliber of weapon. When it comes to going through armor piercing rounds and shit like that, then yeah, people should probably know who the fuck you are. You know what I mean? Because that's it's dangerous. That goes beyond self-defense. Something that can punch through multiple layers of fucking armor.
That goes beyond hunting.
Yeah, that's not hunting. Bears don't fucking wear body armor.
No.
So
yeah, I'm a little confused on one thing. I'm pretty sure if you were convicted of a felony, don't you already lose your right to own a firearm?
not always.
Yeah.
No.
Not always. Is it state by state or?
Depends on the felony.
Yeah, it depends on the felony.
Does it depend on the felony?
Yeah.
Because I know Texas has the two
I'm not
strikes
saying
you're out.
I'm not saying all
I think-
felonies, because if you have a felony fucking financial crime,
Jaywalking.
so there's some. I'm saying violent crime. If you're convicted of a felony violent crime, then yeah, you should lose access to your firearms at least for a certain period of time, if not forever.
But I think
those
it's interesting.
couple of kinks of mine that are illegal in a few states and Puerto Rico, those don't count. Those are
Are
misdemeanors.
felonies, and
Those
those
are
extremely
misdemeanors.
count.
You can marry
No,
your cousin
they're
in California.
felonies. I'm pretty sure you're looking at federal pound me in the ass prison time.
And you notice what?
But
Real quick, there's one thing that I didn't mention at all that I actually wanted to talk about, but I'm not going to do it because people are going to get mad because we're black. But I'll talk about it just for a second. Is that the vast majority of gun laws are super racist.
oh yeah,
So
sure.
you do yourself a favor and just fucking look it
But-
up. Look up why we have actual gun laws in America, and it is not what you think.
We don't want those darkies.
Yeah, look up
What's-
Ronald Reagan and the Black Panthers back in like the early 80s, like late 70s, and you'll be surprised.
Yep.
What's crazy is that like it's for you to get your driver license, you have to take a test. Like you have to take a test. You have to show proof that you're able to drive and this and that. And, like I feel like it should be like at least here in California we have the MSF course or I think it's a course, not
Motorcycle
a course, it's a
safety
training
one.
thing where
Foundation.
yeah, motorcycle safety foundation or federation.
Foundation.
Anyways,
Foundation.
anyways, there definitely should be something similar with guns. Like you should literally take like a course that teach you how to use this firearm. Depending on what kind of firearm you're using, you should take this course that would just show you like the ins and outs of the gun, how to take it apart, how to clean it, how like all the ammo works. Like it should be a fucking like it's almost like going to college on how to use a fucking gun, just so like you understand the repercussion. But part of this class should also tell you kind of like if you well, right now if you get a DUI, you have to do a program where you have to go to a dare event where you basically have a police officer who's been on a scene of a drunk driver accident, somebody who was a drunk driver who killed somebody, and somebody who was a family member that lost somebody to a drunk driver. And you have to listen to these people's story. You should literally go to something similar to that and get the understanding of like how impacting like you taking somebody's life is. Like you can easily just kill somebody, but like there's other people are impacted. Like there's family members, there's people in the community. There's like a little baby, a son is losing his dad, a father is losing his son. Like there's all these people who are impacted by your fucking decision. And I don't want to say like these people don't take this in consideration, but it's like they're trying to like especially with the Buffalo shooting, like his motivation was to take out black people, but like yo, there's other. Like he killed an 80-year-old fucking woman. Like
Grandmas.
it's, yeah. Like holy, it's hard to get behind the mindset of people who do shit like this. It's like,
Fuck
how
'em.
could you fucking sit there and kill 19 little fucking kids who are probably just fucking kneeling in the corner, fucking crying? It's like, how, why, what the fuck is going through your brain to make this shit fucking happen? And this became an episode of Stranger Things. Fuck Stranger Things, because this shit's too fucking real.
Yeah. I'm gonna give the signal though, because you know we could go till 4 in the fucking morning. You guys goddamn know it. And we'll be back next week. We're in Vista. You know what I mean? I know. There's more we could fucking say. Old Ninja, what you got populating this week? Goddamn it.
I actually don't have that whole much going on. I'm planning some stuff in the next, I think, 10 days. Supposed to go skydiving, but the
Skydiving?
dates
You're
are
black.
kind of off. What?
You see the color of your skin, right? You're black. You don't do shit like that.
I do what I want. You fuck. Let somebody try to say something to me. Say something.
They're just not gonna give him a
Anyway.
shoot.
They, we'll see. Yeah, I'm just catching up on enjoying Kenobi. I mean, I didn't go too deep into it because the third episode was today. Gonna be. Can't wait for the next one. Saw today's already. Just catching up. I already sped through Stranger Things 4, so I'm looking to probably catch a couple of other shows before Volume 2 drops, but we'll see. Hopefully next week I'll talk about Top Gun Maverick because I saw that shit. Jurassic Park's out pretty soon. I'm probably going to see it pretty quick, but not a whole lot going on this weekend.
Good shit.
Yeah.
Good shit. I'll try to get on that Destiny 2 with you. Now the Stranger Things is over and I'm done binging. Blue, what you got?
The little one, little blue. we finally moved him into his own room, so he's got his own room now. And night one, this little guy figured out how to crawl out of his bed.
Oh
Ah,
damn.
goddamn.
So, so he does. We don't have like a crib for him. Since he was 6 months, he's had a bed, like actual twin size bed he sleeps in. But he's in like it's we have a monastery bed for him, so there's like sides and stuff like that. So when he was little, he couldn't get out, but now he's older, so he's able to get out. Like he's able to like just jump the fucking wall and get out. But yeah, night one in his room. I mean, actually, wasn't night one, maybe night two. Yeah, night two he escaped. But other than that, he's enjoying it. Like he has a space where he can go and play with his toys and stuff like that. Before he would just sleep in our room with us, and then just kind of play in the living room. But now he has his own space, so that's kind of cool. But just constantly seeing him grow, his personality's starting to change. It's just kind of crazy. He's not picking up words, but he's very, very talkative. Like he's doing the like the
Gibberish.
jumble talking, whatever. Yeah, he's talking gibberish, but he talks gibberish at certain times where it's like, okay, this kid's trying to say something.
You know, you as one of his parents has to do the translating because other people do
Oh,
not
yeah,
know what
I
the
understand.
fuck he's saying.
Oh yeah, for me, I understand what he's saying. Like I'll pick him up and he'd be like, "Hey, yo, dad, put me back down. I want to play with that toy over there." It's like, "Oh shit, okay, here you go." But yeah, it's just, oh dude, it's just crazy. And like we have like this measuring, you know how like people like they mark how tall their kid is and blah blah blah. Like we got this tape thing that you can post. It's like a giant fucking rolling. It's like a scroll basically, and they have like the little measurements and stuff like that.
Is it a fucking
And it's
ninja
almost-
scroll?
Almost, maybe it could be.
I'm just saying.
I don't. It unraveled like one,
He
but
could, he
yeah,
could
he's almost.
definitely save a young ninja woman from getting raped from a rock monster.
Oh.
I'm just, if y'all never watched the anime, you won't get it, but definitely watch the anime.
Yeah, there's scroll. But yeah, he's like almost 3 feet tall, and it's like, holy shit, you're like half my height, kid. You're only like one and something. But it's just fucking crazy. But yeah, this weekend is the Alameda County Fair.
Oh shit.
Oh
and
shit.
I really want to take him. You guys won't know anything about that because y'all guys down in SoCal. But where they don't even say hella, they guys got to bring that back down there.
You're already talking shit.
But yeah, I really want to take him there just because it's just a cool experience and just to see him like see things and stuff like that. It's really cool. But yeah, one thing we skipped over fucking heavily was that we're on our 7 years of this podcast. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if Kronos was gonna bring that up, but we definitely should have had that in the beginning. But like, yeah, man, 7 years doing this fucking shit strong. It's been amazing, man. I've loved doing this podcast every Wednesday. Even though it was supposed to be Geeks on Fleek, I'm glad we changed that name because Black on Penny is fucking dope as
Speak
fuck.
on fleek.
Oh man.
Say it right.
That would have been cringe.
It would have been, but someone was very adamant about us doing
Me?
that name.
I was like, no, we can't be doing that fucking childish bullshit. We're old ass men.
No, yeah, I know, but someone was lobbying very hard that we use that name,
Was
and
that
I'm
you?
like, what the fuck does that even mean?
Dude,
I wonder who
that
would
trend
have that kind of
lasted-
audacity to push that type of fucking name. I don't
They'll
get
go
it.
nameless. It was probably Stitch. That's who it was.
Nah, he ain't even here.
Yeah.
Yeah, even here. Throw the motherfucker under the bus.
Oh,
But
shit.
that
I was
trend only
still-
lasted like maybe a month. I'm glad we didn't go with that. Little fun fact: if you ever do a trivia night, what was the original name of the podcast? Or the name?
Oh shit!
name
Oh
of the
shit!
list?
We have that kind of content. We have content
Oh.
we can actually do B's and BTI trivia.
Yeah, we sure as fuck
You
could.
could.
We need your Fanime girl there. That's what needs to be
Oh.
up there.
No.
But
I-
if she comes,
that's
we need
too
a-
much
we need a
violence
metal
that I
detector.
can't-
I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's
A
too much
definite
violence that I
metal
can't.
Yeah, right.
We talk about all this.
Too much
These
violence.
gun laws. We
We
need to
yeah, we
protect.
talk about gun laws. Yeah, motherfucker need to protect me. God damn.
No, we'll put you in a
That
bubble
ain't-
suit. There you go.
You know,
that ain't
bullets
shot
go
by
through
bullet.
metal.
I said
Sword
it was.
knife,
I
I'm
was saying
saying.
bubble, which is plastic.
I feel
but-
like she wouldn't even use. She would fucking shank you, bro.
Yeah,
she's
that's what I'm
definitely a
saying.
stabby type person. I saw it in her eyes. She wants to be up close and personal, and watch the light go out
Yeah.
of your eyes. I'm just saying.
I'm
Eat
pretty
shit.
sure she would
Fire
use
it up.
the chair as like a little docks, and then move
Makeshift.
in with the knife. So
hope
I
she
mean, it would
listens.
start off. Probably would start off all violently, but then like she'll give my charisma and be like, "Oh shit, what's up, Blue?"
and then stab you.
No, that's not
Hey,
how
I'm
it's
a
going
married man
down,
with kids.
He's on
Hey, every anime I watch, the
Oh,
bully gets bullied, and all of a sudden they're in. It turns out that they're into that person, and hey,
She's no.
Blue, you live in reality, so
Oh, God,
Yeah.
dang.
I live in an anime, man. That's where the good stuff is.
All right, Kronos, what you got?
all right. I'm glad to be down here in Chula Vista with my brother. I'm temporarily homeless, but it's all good. My brother's place is actually quite nice, so he has a really nice pool. It's going to be close to Prodigy again. Get to hang out, see the families. Trying to get my kid into like summer programs, and then into school in like 6 weeks because like their year-round school here was just kind of weird. So like they just my nephews and nieces, they graduated today, or they call it promotions, which is weird to me. I'm like, y'all just graduated. Why call it promotions?
That's weird,
You in a corporation? Like, what? You getting a raise? Like, what the fuck's going on? I'm gonna let it go though. All right.
But that's
So
like with like some schools, high schools, they call like a senior ball, senior prom. It's like, no, it's a senior ball, dog. It's like, no,
Yeah.
it's a senior prom. It's like, no, it's a junior prom. It's just fucking weird.
So they're
Everybody's
going to the next grade in 6 weeks. So apparently they get a 6 week break and then they go back to school. So we're getting our youngest to go into school really close to here. We're looking for a house. We're still waiting for our house to sell. It's got to get renovated and all that stuff. So definitely happy to be here. It's just in a weird transitionary period. Sorry about last week. Again, I don't like missing podcasts. Y'all know me. But it had to be done.
Dirt time.
Hopefully I can convince Prodigy to buy another mic for next week so we can have like 2 separate mics. Because sharing one mic is kind of like, it's kind of like we're bi now, which is super gross because we're related. So,
You guys,
yeah.
I got
As-
two B's and one C.
Two
No,
dudes, one mic.
I'm gonna quote.
I think I said on
I'm
the
quoting
podcast.
Stitch, two
Two dudes, one mic.
guys, one mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 guys, 1 mic.
That's a good mic, though. I'm just saying. Oh, that's Inzune Gear. All right. Anyway, yeah, and I'm glad that this podcast is going. After 7 years, it's been a good time, and I hope to see people at San Diego Comic-Con. And we're gonna try to get back into like our normal. We haven't done our normal thing for like 2 years. We're trying to like do some interviews. We're trying to make some events at cons. Hopefully some fucking panels at some point in time. And I'll be back in the Bay actually next week for my daughter's graduation, not promotion. I'm just saying because she's graduating. And I get to ride my motorcycle back down to SoCal. So yeah, that's all I got.
We still need to do reacts. We haven't done reacts in years.
Hey, it's been a minute. It's been a hot minute.
People still ask and they get fucking mad about it. Like, why the fuck you bullshitting this podcast? I'm like, whoa. I mean, reacts are cool and all, but yeah.
I kind of been wanting to do a couple of solo reacts, but it's like it's not the same.
Do them.
Nope.
We kind of vibe off each other, which is kind of fucking cool.
I mean, look, we could try doing it before the next cast or whatever. At least
I mean, we're the reason why Anita is so popular in fucking America.
Clearly, we got BTS to be like
BTS,
household names.
same
you know
here.
what I mean?
Fucking Blackpink. Is it Blackpink?
What'd you say?
Baby metal.
He said Blackpink.
Well, Baby Metal was the other one. No. There's a Korean group called Blackpink.
There is, but
Oh,
Is it Blackpink?
okay.
But they're as big as BTS.
Mm-hmm.
We reacted. It's they're the one that had the what Asian girl that raps, and she was in a video with Psy. I can't think of her name.
Aquafina?
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
No,
I've seen her. Yeah, because she's with it's the all girl group, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I've
Yeah,
seen
okay, it
part
is
of the
Blackpink.
video.
I thought I was tripping for a second, but yeah, it's all girl group. There's one girl. I think her name's like, I can't think of her name, but yeah, she fucking raps. She's like a badass. She had like the fucking Kango hat, kind of low,
Yeah.
and she's just like bopping it. If I show you the
'Cause
video,
she's
you're like,
like
oh
the-
shit, that's right.
I've seen part of the video because she's like their quote
We
unquote.
reacted to the
I'm
video.
doing air quotes. Their lead singer, even though there's like 9 chicks in the group or whatever.
God damn.
I know what you're talking about.
All right. Shit. What I got going on this week? So, real quick, I can't wait to discuss some of these controversial fucking tinfoil hat theories on Stranger Things next week. Y'all are not gonna want to miss this bullshit. Highly controversial theories. Me and old Ninja, we've been talking. looking forward to in a couple more weeks, San Diego Comic-Con, and next week I might do it remotely because I think I will be in New York for my buddy's wedding. But
You going to another foodie party?
no, but happy. I mean, it's June 1st. It's Pride Month and all of that. So
Juneteenth month.
Juneteenth month, graduation month, Father's Day month. There's a whole lot going on, and then we are just 4 goddamn weeks away from the dropping of the Blu-ray Interspecies Reviewers. I want everybody to get on board. Blue has not seen the whole goddamn thing. I know old Ninja did. He's a degenerate like me.
I did.
But
I
definitely
did.
get on there.
I saw I've seen the uncensored version.
Yeah, man. Oh my
Because
goodness.
I didn't realize that some episodes were censored. I was like, wait a minute, this shit's edited. And I went in and went back to another site and saw this shit unedited. I was like, oh shit.
Look, the bird girls, the fairies. I mean, look, it's everything.
Well, it's all. I'm curious though. If it's edited, do you see just the dick and the balls, or just the pussy, or did they edit?
No,
is it
they
mosaic? They mosaic one of them, right? Because it can be, be both.
When I mean edited, like certain scenes are almost completely gone.
Yeah,
like you literally see the beginning and the end of the scene.
If
in
it's
the middle is
if
missing.
it's a 22-minute episode for Interspecies Reviewers and it's censored, you'll probably see 3 minutes.
Yeah, it was pretty weird. I had to go back and see like some stuff because it literally added like legit like 6 to 8 minutes of unedited footage.
Goddamn.
So
all right, old Ninja, take us out. Goddammit.
really quick, I think all of us well, I haven't forgotten, but I think collectively as a unit, we haven't done the fucking golden eggplants. We were hyping it up.
God damn it, did we
haven't
not?
said shit.
Dude, I was fucking
No,
busy at the beginning of this year.
Because we had this is the problem. We've all been busy. There's been a lot of shit going on between all of us, but like there's literal like categories that were empty. So I didn't post any of that shit up. I have it partially done, but I'm gonna say I think I'm gonna put us on notice and give us 2 weeks.
All right,
If we don't got shit, I'm just gonna post whatever we got and put it out there.
All right.
In 2 weeks. So there you go.
I mean, we're slapping
noted.
anybody, so
Yeah, just be careful of flying chairs, Blue. Just saying.
God damn.
You just experienced Black and the Black Times Divinity,
Titty meats.
the dankest podcast on the internet. Be a lookout for the Golden Eggplants 2021 because we didn't do. You can check us out anywhere with Beathan BTIs, BTHANBTI. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, we go live every Wednesday, 8:30 Pacific-ish time, CPT, with a little asterisk on there. You can email us at beathandbti@gmail.com. We have a Discord that we got going on. You can use your phone. You can have like private conversations, or if you want to ask something kind of private, email. You can DM us on Twitter. I believe our DMs are open.
Your privates. That's what he's trying to say.
I mean, as long as it's not pierced, I'm not really.
especially Fuda.
Check out our official website, benhatproductions.com/BeathandBTI.
Skeet, skeet.